right, good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Division E Grand Finals. I am IceX and I am here with Taco. How you doing tonight, Taco?
Um, well, first I like laughing at myself because I was smiling at the camera when I realized we're not running cameras today.
Yep, absolutely not running cameras tonight. We'll be running them the next game, but your smile is still always appreciated.
Can you
But
feel it?
I can feel it. I can feel it over
Good.
here. But these teams are actually ready to go already. Everybody is set. Lobby is full. So I'm going to run us through the map overview real quick. I mean, I'm super stoked for this series. We've got the Division East champs, the 9 Avataria going up against the Division E West champs, DeepFriedMingBalls. These people have scrimmed. They have played each other a lot and they are ready for this match. So let me get us over to the map so you can see what's going on. DeepFriedMingBalls, they won the coin toss, so they got to pick first hero pick, meaning 9 Avataria started off with our map bans. They banned out Volskaya Foundry and Tomb of the Spider Butts, as they liked to call it. Meanwhile, DeepFriedMingBalls banned out Cursed Hollow and the Garden of Terror, and that means map number 1 is going to be Towers of Doom. How are you thinking about that one?
So Towers of Comebacks is a pretty good map for a game 3 or game 5 in this situation. So to see it as map number 1 is almost a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, because it's so great to see the swings. However, these two teams they've actually scrimmed each other a lot as well, and they're both really good. That's how they've gotten to the grand finals, right? So
Absolutely.
I think this map could also set the pace for the rest of the match. Depending on how back and forth this map is, we might see 5 games. If it's pretty one-sided, that might be a reflection of what's going on more so than other maps might be. So I think this will be a really good barometer for the rest of the set.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's always interesting to see this map as the opener rather than the map that, kind of gets that clutch turnaround. It's also one of those maps I typically find when we're doing these best of 5 series or best of like 2, where the map can suddenly be the map that swings the momentum back into the other team. Like, a team could get down 2-0 in the series. Map 3 goes to Towers of Doom, and the team that's down all of a sudden wins on a comeback mechanic in Towers of Doom, and that little bit was enough to send them, and all of a sudden they pull off the reverse sweep. So it's interesting that this is going to be the first map played. Looking at these two teams, we're going to see a lot of poke probably coming out from either side. Lucio getting that first ban from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, and I'm curious to see if the support pool will get pinched a little bit.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, so Ska is known for blasting them beats, but Maharba in this game right now also really well known in Divi for his Rexar, which we were talking a little bit before the match. Towers of Doom is not necessarily a great Rexar map, although being able to micro Misha while channeling can provide you some stall and such. But also the Hin is pretty well known for his Valera, and I don't think he's lost a game on Valera this season. Um, and I can check on that in just a second. I haven't updated my stats to the storm, but I think I can find out. So I'm interested to see if maybe that's a mid ban against the Hin on this roamy ganky map, and if we do see Rexar, I stand corrected because I know who the the Hin I think is the only Brightwing player on Ming Balls.
So this
So
is curious to me because Hen picked up Brightwing here, and I know Mrs. So and So is typically the Brightwing player, at least from what I've
oh,
seen
she does play
casting them.
Brightwing.
Yes, so
Okay.
I believe this could be a swap later. Maybe Hen's picking it up to be play the mind games a little bit and look for the swap later, but. I mean, it could just be Hen decided to go with the Brightwing, but look at this. Garrosh and Zool. So the Bruiser and Tank coming out for the side of non-Avataria, and I love Garrosh on
Oh my
this map. He
god.
can do
What the
so
heck?
much.
What just happened? But yeah, last comment on what we were just talking about. So you're right. Miss So and So is in instead of Syl, who would otherwise probably be healing. Yeah. So we might still see that Valera, which would be fun to see out of game 1. But Garrosh throw with the Zul root, like that's a strong start. And so look for some blow up coming out of Universe and Shybar, but also the Blaze Gazlo combo, and maybe throw in a little Poly in there. And not to mention Silver Arrow. Probably we're looking at a time loop here in a second from Silver Arrow.
Yeah.
who I don't know if chat's told you, but chat says things about Silver Arrow.
I mean, this is curious to me. I like, I saw Hooli and I'm like, okay, what's Hooli going to bring out here? Especially, what is he going to match up against Azul with? And he goes with the Blaze. Blaze not notoriously known for being a good double soaker on a map like Towers of Doom. Doesn't necessarily have the rotation, but he can also flex down into that bot lane, and you can have the Gazlo, who is better at the double soaking. And then you're looking at Blaze as more of that main take initiation, which is great. Unfortunately, if Blaze does not land his stun, Garrosh can literally flip him back into the other team, and now Blaze is in way too deep without a paddle. So it's going to be interesting to see if they send the Blaze bot, or if they go with this like Gazlo top, Blaze mid, Blaze rotating between the mid and bot lane, and they just go a heavy bot lane and kind of try and out pressure them with a macro style rather than doing the traditional double soaker in the top and mid, sending your 4-lane bot. But Tassadar and Cassia being picked up, yikes, watch out.
Yeah, I think the Tassadar Q is going to be really strong into that initial engage combo, and then Cassia to help finish. And you can just isolate and melt down one target. Oh,
Oh my
it's not
god.
quite the easy bake oven. It's not Leoric, but this is. I guess it's Hell in a Cell.
It's
Is
it's
that what we'll
it's
call
pretty
this?
much hell in a cell right here. Look at the
Yeah.
amount of fire they're gonna put down in that warden's cage. Holy
Yeah.
cow! And there's no
Yeah.
percent damage on the side of Nine Avataria as of right now. So the
I
later
think
this game goes,
Tassadar.
yeah, later.
Yes. I think we call this. I think Hell in the Cell is gonna be the right term here. Um, I do like the Stukov. The Stukov can kind of counter a little bit of what's going on. Unfortunately, Maev already gets the engage probably before Stukov gets off the silence, and there's not. Although there's the Cassia blind. Cassia can drop the blind on the incoming shade, and possibly prevent the Umbral bind from going off, but that's gonna be some really good anticipation. Um, but I think that's gonna be their best shot at avoiding getting engaged by that Maev.
Yeah, this is incredibly spicy coming out of DeepFriedMingBalls. I mean, so it is going to be Hen on Brightwing. Miss So and So does get the Deathwing instead. So I think this was the plan from the beginning. They wanted that Deathwing, and they wanted to see what the damage was coming out from the side of the Nine Avataria. I mean, the Deathwing is going to be able to put on a lot of pressure in this bot lane with the Blaze and the Maya. They aren't necessarily going to have the kill pressure early unless they get a good pick onto like the Cassia overextending, or the Garrosh being out just a little too far forward. It's going to be really tough to get that Tassadar locked down. So Tassadar, if he goes stacks, will be able to get them up. But yeah, this is going to be super spicy. Let's get these two teams introduced. I'm going to introduce the red side and then send it over to Taco for the blue team. On the red side, we have the deep fried Ming balls. We have Silver Arrow sitting on that Maya. We got Karaoke 66 or Karaoke 66 on the Gazla. Hooli sitting on that Blaze, the Hen on the Brightwing, and Miss So and So on that Deathwing.
And coming in the blue shorts representing Div E East, we got Ska on the Stukov, Genghis Khan rocking it on the Garrosh, Shybar on Cassia, Universe on Tassadar, and Maharba bringing it in on the Necromancer Zul. That is the 9 Avatara.
And my oh my, I am about to see a lot of stacking going on the side of the 9 Avataria. We got Tassadar and Cassia both going for stacks, but the Hen getting flipped in right away. The Bruce goes down, but Blaze landing an amazing stun may get the Hen out of here. Holy cow, that Blaze stun.
What?
That was absolutely critical. The Hen getting a little too ambitious with some of those bush checks early on, and yeah, that was insane. And Hooli already leaving the game, was tired. He's like, you know what? I did my save. I got in, got the Blaze jet propulsion, and I'm out. That's it. I contributed, team. Well done. I'll see you, on the podium, or in that silver medal. But holy cow, what a crazy start. I mean, Tassadar sit with 10 stacks, Cassia sitting with 3 already, and Maev actually going for the Pursuit of Vengeance.
Yeah, our level 1s are, I don't know. Maev's level 1s are all kind of interesting. The stacking one is an infinite stacking quest, but I mean, she's there. She's really only there for the engage, and then she gets some Q resets, which are nice. But I really don't think most of her talents really play into the way Maev is.
Yeah, it's
played in these Wombo comps.
yeah. I mean, the thing with Maiev is you're not really gonna. I mean, I haven't seen Silver play. You're not gonna really rely on Maiev to put out as much damage as. Oh no,
Oh,
that would be just
oh,
highly unfortunate. But
put me in, coach.
yeah, right. Put me in. I am ready. We're trying to see if we can get a final word on what's going to happen here with the side of deep fried Ming balls. Looks like a power issue may be going on, so we'll see how this one decides to play out. But yeah, I mean, Brightwing going to be able to put a lot of pressure on that Garrosh. Garrosh going to have to be very, very careful with the engages that he's going to be able to do with the polymorph play coming online. And being able to really just be that answer to anything Garrosh related right now. They're really going to have to play around this Tastar a lot better. Garrosh is going to kind of have to sit back, which can kind of be hard for Garrosh at times. It's difficult to really rein in a Garrosh who wants to be very aggressive, but it seems like the way they're going to be set up for the most kind of success is to get some play around that Tassadar wall in one of those chunky close-knit corridors and try to find the play there, especially in this pre-10 where we don't have a lot of the damage necessarily coming online for deep fried Ming balls yet. They're looking for their 10s to really start to put this wombo pressure down.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting point that I hadn't thought of yet, where using Tassadar's walls against him, which is kind of hard to get the Tassadar on board with, but if you can convince him, maybe slip him a few 9-ball smashes,
There you go.
then you can maybe you can make it work out.
Yeah, for those who do not know here, tonight the Division E finals has a cocktail of choice for those wanting to partake as well. I've got mine sitting right here. The 9-ball smash. I don't have it. You had that fancy little image
The
thrown up there.
graphic.
Yeah, the graphic.
My wife made it for me
That
the
was
day of. But if
looking
you
really
want,
good.
yeah, right. Oh, I'm so proud of her for it, and she did such a good job. And it was a lot harder than it looked like, apparently. So I'm told, because anyway, I couldn't have done it. So anyway, for those of you that are interested in the 9-ball smash, it is 2 parts gin, a half part fresh squeezed lemon juice, a half part agave syrup, and 4 to 5 basil leaves, or as the hen who created it said, basil, and obviously some ice. I recommend the spherical ice if you have the capability to make that. And the non-alcoholic version is probably Sprite, lemon juice, and syrup. So maybe some ginger ale.
Yeah, we're getting ready's coming out. Looks like the power issue was resolved, so we should be getting the countdown real quick and get back into this game. And here we go. Little bit of spiciness to start off, but we do have Silver Arrow in the bot lane. Gonna have to get himself away from the Garrosh, as Maiev does so excellently. But in the top lane, we got a great gank by the Blaze, and the Zool sitting very low does pop the shield, so we'll be able to get himself to safety at 75 health.
The close calls in the early game are always so exciting and then so disappointing. For any of you that are familiar with the matches that I end up watching for everybody else to watch with me, a lot of people do things and then nobody dies, and then I get mad about it.
But I mean, look at this rotation that's coming out of the side of Deep Fried Ming Balls. They were initially rotating up into the top lane, then into the middle, kind of doing like a 3-man rotation all over the map. Garrosh actually trying to get the land, but Silver Arrow just able to bounce himself to safety. Camp was picked up by the side of the blue team, and so that's an early camp pickup, whereas Deep Fried Ming Balls haven't even started them. So experience definitely going in favor of, or at least map pressure going in favor of the 9 Avatara. Zool a little behind on the double soak since he did have to back, but will catch up against a Gazlo, no problem. We see a lot of this this pressure being, the side of the 9 Avatara. They're trying to look like delay the camp. Unfortunately, Garrosh just doesn't have any really good targets aside from the Brightwing that he wants to throw, unless Blaze uses the jet propulsion. He's just going to try to throw the Blaze. Blaze has it, and it's a 3-man stun. Maiev going to go all the way, and look at this burn coming out of the entire team. Everybody getting so low, and that's exactly what we talked about. 2 kills, and this could be a potential 3rd Deathwing. Going to make sure that is solidified. 3 kills going over to DeepFriedMingBalls, and that's why you got to be so careful on the Garrosh on which target you pick to throw, because it can turn around so quickly for you.
And that was a big triple kill for him, but I don't know if you saw, and it might not have looked the same way for you as it did for me. I think we're finally catching up. There was a ridiculous ragdoll of a minion, at least for me, and it doesn't look like it carried through on your side, where the dude just popped up and like somersaulted on his way back down. But but you're right. With Garrosh, like, I have a hard time telling the difference between the 2 Deathwings, the little one and the big one.
Right.
But he could always try.
And here comes Deathwing, gonna come in from above. Blaze gonna start the damage. Garrosh trying to find that target, actually throws Blaze away this time and trying to delay, but the delay, here comes Maiev. Deathwing getting a 2-man stun. Maiev able to follow that up. A big stun goes down on top of the Cassia, trying to get herself to safety, and gets the big heal from the Stukov there. Stukov putting the silence pull down to keep the Cassia alive, but the Tassadar wall actually puts Cassia on the wrong side of enemy lines, and that is gonna be Cassia being traded away, and this is gonna be a 2-to-1 turret going in favor of our DeepFriedMingBalls.
Yeah, I mean, I do represent EE, so I don't know about our necessarily.
Oh, sorry, that's mine. I know we got a little caster thing, you know, a little bet going on with Taco on the east and me on the west here. But there's a nice flip from Garrosh underneath the towers onto Huli. There's no way Blaze getting out, and that is a great pickup there by the Garrosh.
Yeah, really good set. So 4-to-1 in favor of DeepFriedMingBalls, and I do have a great relationship with both of these teams, and I want to see them both do well. Unfortunately, only one team can win, so let's go E East. I will say though, apparently Silver Arrow breaks the rules. You can keep your statistics. I prefer the Magic, just to catch everybody up.
Ooh, we do see Maiev actually looking like she's going to engage, but Deathwing able to arrive and get this fight turned around. We do see the Stukov picking it up and actually does get the camp. Pinks are down. This is a full 5-on-5 fight by both teams here, and actually it looks like both teams now, you know, the prize has already been won. The 9 Avatara able to pick it up, and that means everybody going to go back to lanes and try to keep things down. Zool actually getting ganked here in the mid lane, but will be able to use the Bone Prism to get himself to safety, and the minions getting pushed in heavy in the bot lane.
Yeah, that was a nice turnaround by Silver on the Maiev, where he got caught. He pops his Vault of the Wardens, but then he eased back in because his team's coming to the rescue, and I expected him to try to keep going for safety.
Yeah, we've got one altar coming online here. Not necessarily a critical altar for either team. They may just poke this out and wait for their 10s. Zool going to be in that top lane trying to get the soak, get the experience going in the favor of the 9 Avatara. Garrosh has to be careful because it is a 5-man fight, ends up throwing the Maiev away. So everybody's zoning off for the Blaze. Unfortunately, Blaze wants to be the one on the front, but Zool comes in from the side and gets in the wrong side of this fight. Deathwing absolutely cooking right now, and that's going to be a pickup onto the Zool. We do see Garrosh getting a little bit away, throws the Maiev, and should be able to get to safety. One, I believe that was 2. Was it 3? That is insane. You saw 2? I thought I saw 2 for just a second, but Garrosh literally gets away with single-digit HP.
Oh my goodness. So DeepFriedMingBalls does pick up that altar. They're going to come over here and start working on their siege camp. And the opponent's siege camp not going to be up for a little bit. Garrosh going back to the Hall of Storms for some much needed. Red Warrior needs food, or I guess in this case, Blue Warrior needs food badly.
Yeah, and now we've got 10s online for both teams. On the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, we've got the Blink Heal coming in from the Brightwing. Warden's Cage coming in from the Maiev. We've got the Grav Bomb from the Gazlo. We got the Roar, Bellowing Roar from the Deathwing, and we've got the Combustion coming in from Blaze.
Then over here for 9 Avatara, Black Hole, Flailing Swipe, Ball Lightning, Warlord's Challenge, and the Giant Booger. So a lot of AoE presence there, and a good chunk of lockdown / separation.
Yeah, it's curious. I mean, they can play this twofold. One, it looks like they're trying to play for the big Warlord's taunt. They've got a lot of AoE damage. They can either group them up with the Black Hole first, or if Garrosh can just get the challenge down early. Then they can wombo off of that with the damage. However, Garrosh able to catch the Blaze. Combustion being thrown down. Blaze able to get that channel most of the way off. A two-man taunt. Here comes the black hole, but Maiev able to blink over it. Does continue to follow us up. Blaze landing another stun onto the Garrosh, but Garrosh not going to be the target that will fall very easily. So everybody able to get away. Another single alter phase coming online. But if Garrosh can get this big taunt with a black hole potentially, you know, it's tough to get to the Brightwing, but that's the way they're going to catch it. And then they've got the follow-up with the Cassia and Zool damage that they will be able to finish this off. But they catch the Maiev. She teleports herself to safety right away. And this is going to be a big 5-on-5 fight over this next altar.
Yeah, the first full 5-on-5 with Heroics. I'm curious if the Warlord's challenge isn't intended mainly as a counter to this right here to stop the engage.
Holy cow!
That is what Hell in a Cell truly is. Nine Avatara spending the day in the brick oven as the perfect, I believe that was a 4-man pull, and I'm gonna check here on the replay that is the delayed cast. But I believe at least a 3, if not a 4-man pull into the Warden's cage, and there goes the black hole, not black hole, the
Grav
bomb, along with the Deathwing Q, because that's a basic ability.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. Well timed. The Warden's cage kept everybody in. The Grav bomb landed onto all 5 members, and Deathwing and Maiev were just able to do everything, put down all the damage. But that Grav bomb by the Gazlo, huge Grav bomb, MVP in that fight for me, for sure. Just able to get himself in, get that damage down, and then just, you know, scoot himself off to safety, go back to farming like it's just his day job.
It is. It is his day job.
Pretty much, as of right now.
Offlaners only exist to get soaked.
But I mean, that was a huge fight for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. It gets them this map pressure. They get the experience lead. They got this tower, bottom tower, which is the ultimate prize on a map like Towers of Doom, down to about half health, almost half health. But more importantly, they showed what their team comp can do in a 5v5 fight. Now, it's up to the side of the 9 Avatara to show that as well, but this is trouble for Zool, way out, and this is a full 5-man gank committed. He does throw the booger down, but Pen will be able to just top everybody off blinking around. This is a 2-man, but I like what I'm seeing from the blue side here. They know they've got a little bit of delay, trying to get some pressure in return in the bot lane as well. Not going to be able to get the tower, but at least gets the wall. Again. But there goes Hooli running it out.
Do you see chat though? Flame vomit extraordinaire, bruh.
I don't see what's going on in chat, and Hooli now looking like he's coming back. Oh, Twitch chat. No, I haven't glanced over, but we are back. It looks like Hooli just took like a second break, needed to catch his breath, and now has returned for this next fight on the Blaze.
His flame breath.
He's just chilling there.
Yeah.
He's trying to cause the delay, but the first channel goes off for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, and it looks like they're going to get the second one. With Zool not able to contest, this is going to be a double channel for the red team. And now if you're the side of the blue side, I mean, we've talked about this. It's towers of comebacks. You can never count any team out, but they got to find the fight. They really need to figure out what is going on.
Hulu's got the bug where on a disconnect where it anchors you to one part of the map, and so he's always going to be trying to walk back to that spot of the map unless he's constantly moving.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's going to have to completely restart the client.
Well,
hang on, let me
somebody can get a message to Hulu. It looks like he's got some weird bug going on in the game right now. But while they get that sorted out, we can go back to, you know, the 9 Avatara map of our towers of comebacks. What they really need to do is they got to find a way to get everybody grouped up. Maybe get Zool in, find the Gazlo in a double soaking situation where Zool can put enough pressure on these lanes that Zool can rotate down to that mid lane, and then find a way to get the timing, maybe over opposing team's camp or something, to get that 5v4 situation, get the Tassadar wall down. Get the Tassadar wall down, and ultimately find that fight that they're looking for on the side of the 9 Avatara. They can do it. They need to get this this Tassadar and Garrosh combo down, and they should be able to find this fight. But it's going to be really tough until level 20 to get any sort of damage going through this Deathwing. And it looks like we've got a big gank coming down. Tassadar getting caught out. Blaze landing the stun onto the Tassadar. Big damage going down, but Tassadar able to get away. Not quite. It looked like the Flailing Swipes may have saved him. Blaze lands a combustion, gets another follow-up stun onto the Stukov. Here comes the Booger. Deathwing throwing the Cataclysm down. The Warden's Cage also being thrown. Hen gets in there. The grab bomb onto 2 members, and that is going to be the Hell in the Cell. Taco, I mean, you need to copyright that thing. That is a massive amount of combination coming out.
WWE has that copyrighted.
That's true.
Already.
That is fair. You can take the Heroes copyright.
Oh, yeah, Hell in the Next Cell.
Next cell. There you go. But this is huge. This is a 3 altar phase coming up. They are trying to get this boss as well on the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, which will put the Dower down to 12 hit points. So if they can capture all 3, it's game. But the death timers are still low enough, and they have nobody over this bottom one, that I think the 9 Avatari can still delay and try to find some way with 4 core shots remaining to stay in this game. But we see Silver, he's just trying to be the delay extraordinaire. I don't think he's going to be able to get the second one off, but they do get the double channel in the top lane. So it is going to be 4-32 right now, and this is every single altar from here on out needs to be won by the 9 Avatara.
Yeah, well, this is Towers of Comebacks for a reason, so let's go East!
Yeah, it's absolutely, and here we go. This is exactly what I wanted to see. They're coming in with 5, getting an invading camp, looking for Hooli, trying to get the taunt goes down. They catch the Blaze. Cassie getting in there, but Maev is here as well. Hooli getting very low, does go down, but this damage coming out of Deathwing is insane. Everybody grouped together. Deathwing able to just cook and miss so and so. Coming in huge on the terrifying dragon here. Able to get 4 kills in return for 1. I mean, that was like the Hail Mary play. I like that it was pulled out. Just didn't seem that they could quite get enough damage going to be able to get that Blaze down fast enough. And that's really the hard part. When you have no tank shred, it's going to be very difficult to burn through this Blaze, Gazlowe, Deathwing frontline to get to the reward of Hen in the backline, which really is just the healer.
Yeah, well, it was a good play, but you can't line up for Deathwing.
Yeah, it's tough. Like that. This was I think this was a very well orchestrated draft coming in from the red side. They had a plan going in, and I think we see the execution of this plan is very well done. 9 Avatari at this point just figuring out how they're going to respond. What is they going to do for map 2? Because this is a best of 5 game 1. You know, it's a tone setter, but ultimately we're going the whole distance here, and we'll see what the blue team, how they respond in the next draft to get ready for game number 2.
I'm sorry, so I apparently am not able to talk during DeepFriedMingBall games because I'm busy reading the same copy pasta for 10 minutes.
But here we go, last-ditch effort coming in here from the blue side. Garrosh landing actually a 2-man taunt there, but unfortunately the damage just coming down is insane. Look at the amount of damage they were able to put down there, and DeepFriedMingBalls coming in with the game 1 victory.
Yeah, that I mean, Hooli's problem should be fixed now, but if he wants to restart, I mean, whatever. Yeah, just a very very one-sided. The Hell in the Cell is, yeah, exactly, Iggy. Fat Brightwing getting a lot of value when you just line them up and knock them down, as also Sivir would have said back in a game that we won't mention, but. Just it was so dirty, and then that, I mean, you're right, 9 Avatara had to come in and come up with something, and they had an opportunity. It was a 4v2 at first, but to come up with something was to not need a cage to be lined up for Deathwing, and so
yeah, it was so difficult. I mean, I completely understand the feelings going on the side of 9 Avatar. That is a frustrating composition to go into, especially, and again, it comes from me. I'm a tank main. I'm looking at Garrosh going, there isn't really a target to throw. Like, you throw Blaze and you give him a free E to your backline that Maev could just jump right on. So That's not an ideal target. You can't throw Deathwing, just too big. You don't throw Maiev because she
You
could
can't.
just blink right on back. So really, your only throw option is the Brightwing, and Brightwing is such a safe healer. It's like on a map like Towers of Doom where there's not as much flanking potential on these maps, it's so difficult to get that flank coming in. And that was the game. Like DeepFriedMingBalls, they waited, they played patient, waited for their tens to come online, and once they got that grav bomb combustion, like just the hell in the cell combination, it was just lights out every team fight.
Yeah, sorry, it's chat, man. It's freaking chat. But you're right. No good throw targets. Like you were saying, maybe Gaslo, but he could just kind of drop stuff on you and be like, ha ha ha.
Yeah. It,
I'm sorry. I don't. I just froze.
it's really tough. Like Garrosh, he found the Brightwing at that level 1 just because the Brightwing was a little too far ahead, a little overextended, and we could see what could happen if they caught the Brightwing. That post 10 coming out in chat. Once we get to that post 10, if they can't catch the Brightwing early, finding her late is just going to be even more challenging because you got the blink heal coming in, so Brightwing can just teleport herself to safety. So I mean, that's got to be a frustrating play for the Garrosh. So the setup had to be getting the Tassadar wall in a favorable enough position that you could either separate the Blaze from the team and burn down the Blaze. I mean, you're not going to separate from Maiev, but you can separate from everyone else. And try to find that pick in the early game, get Cassia in there for the damage. They had a lot of burst damage coming out with the Tassadar and Cassia. Or finding, since the Zool definitely had the wave clear advantage, at least in the early game until he got, that 3-man roaming gank squad, trying to find a good rotation down with that Zool and make a 4v4 and do a quick 5v4 and see if you could find an early pick. But Zool got put so far behind in the early game that he really had to either commit to trying to catch up in the double soak game with the XP and just not allowing any real kill potential to come out, or commit harder to this rotation, which if they didn't succeed like they did in the couple that they did, then they're really behind in the XP game because then Gazlo's just out soaking Zool. So it's a really, really tough way to kind of fight back in that game for the side of the blue team.
Yeah, the I had it and then I lost it. Yeah, the pressure. Towers of Doom is a map of pressure, so that soak super important. Those 5v4s super important when you can get them. But then Brightwing can. I mean, Brightwing's usually there already to show up. Deathwing can also just show up. But I remember what it was. So the disengage ability with Black Hole and Swipe and Throw even is really strong. But the thing about my Ev comps, and the two most prominent ones are Deathwing and Orphea, is that you can knock away you can't knock away the Deathwing. You can knock away the Orphea, but her R is already going off in the cage. And you're probably not going to get the disengage on Maiev in time because even if you push her away, you get pulled with her, and so then she still holds you in the center. So even though they could fight off most wombos, the it like the disengage wouldn't stop the damage that was coming into them.
Yeah, it was a really, really, like, I mean, just I think that from the draft on, it was really, really tough for them to get back in. But I mean, you got to give the props over to the Gazlo getting those grav bombs over and over and over was just absolutely critical in a lot of these team fights because it set up Deathwing for so much success. And the one time he didn't get the grav bomb, Deathwing was everybody was already standing in line for Deathwing anyway, so Deathwing was able to put out so much damage, 51,000 damage coming out of that Deathwing by Mrs. So and So. And Taco, this was kind of going back to what we were talking about before the draft. We know looking into these players kind of who the shining stars have been through the season, and that's not really where I was focused going into. I was kind of looking more into what the other players, the ones who may not have as much play time throughout the entire season, who will be involved because both of these teams like to bring their whole team in for
I was
series.
I was just thinking about that. So we should expect to see Peanut Butter and I lost his name. I know his name, but I lost his name. But we should expect to see Sill. We should expect to see Elixir
Elixir
for
won't
Deep
be
Fried
here, I
Ming
don't
Balls.
believe. I think
Oh,
he's gonna end
he's
up missing this one,
that's
unfortunately.
oh, but we should also expect to see Peanut Butter and what's his name? I forget his name. I'm good at this game. Confirmed. I'm good at this game. Yes.
Sorry,
Um, I'll pull it up in just a second.
we're waiting, to see where we're gonna go. Each team does have 10 minutes between, so we may be getting teams kind of just regrouping, seeing what we can, where we're gonna go for map number 2. The 9 Avatara, they get to
Gecko.
choose.
I knew.
Gecko?
Yeah, it's Gecko. So we'll
Gecko.
probably see Gecko and Peanut Butter coming in here. Although because it's a best of 5, they know there's at least going to be 3 games, and right now Nine Avatar is hoping for at least 4. So they might not do both of their subs at the same time. But I would be surprised if they didn't. I would expect. Typically, Universe sits out on the second game of the set for those two. I think Universe and Maharba typically sit out.
Okay, so I do have it confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 2. So the side of the 9 Avatar, they elected to get first pick. So switching things up here in game 2, meaning DeepFriedMingBalls got to pick the map, and they're going to send us over to Braxis Holdout, which is interesting. Braxis Holdout, one of those known for being those snowbally maps. Very, very fast map, can be potentially. With the Zerg swarm, if you can get a very good siege comp and in that off lane have a very, very good matchup in that 1v1 lane, if you get that first Zerg wave, you can cause a lot of structure damage very, very quickly, and that could just continue to put the game in your favor. It's very tough to come back on a map like Braxis Holdout.
Yeah, and this should be a faster map. And it looks like Shybar and Universe will be sitting out for Gecko and Peanut Butter. And Universe will leave the lobby before we start. He's just making sure he's got the team all situated.
Yeah.
Um,
Meanwhile, we've got Sill going to be subbed in for Hooli. Hooli looking like he's just having a lot of connection issues. Did play very well on that Blaze, but bringing in Sill, now they've got a lot more flexibility. They have more players who can play that Brightwing. They also have another, I believe Sill is notoriously known for being that support role, but can also, I believe, play Sylvanas as well.
yeah. And Sylvanas is really good here, being able to shut down towers. But I think, and I mean, old Sylvanas could defend a wave too. I think it's more important to be able to hold the fort or to hold the points, obviously, than to because you can't push with it if you don't win it, right? You
Correct.
still get some of your Zerg, but you got to be able to defend. I like a stally, beefy comp. Um, not comp. A stally, beefy team that can just kind of bully and out sustain the point. But this is a good set of choke points to for Wombos as well. Things like what we just saw.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the drafts are going to fold out. I mean, I don't anticipate Deathwing making a second appearance here. We're getting into the game. And also of note, for those who don't know, certain champions are not actually able to be played right now due to bugs. So, or due to remakes. So Johanna,
Reworks. Yep.
reworks. Johanna, Raynor, Anduin, all not available. All very good champions on a map like Braxis
Vala
Holdout.
and Stitches.
Vala and Stitches as well. Stitches. I mean, Stitches now, with the rework is very strong. So they're like, darn, I wish we had Stitches, but not able to be played, not typically picked up on this map. More of like that kind of that flex pick, starting to make it into the main role. But Orphea being banned out here, target ban for sure towards Silver Arrow and Lucio. So same bans coming out from both sides so far.
Yeah, again, Ska's really strong on the Lucio. Silver has a pretty wide hero pool, and I'm gonna whisper you right now so I can say that I called it. I'm gonna tell you what I think Silver's gonna play, and we'll see if that happens.
Oh my
But
gosh.
um, so, but we're leaving open things like Chromie. the Deathwing combo is still open. They might take it early, risking some percentage damage for the in exchange for just getting it out there and getting that lockdown, because the percentage damage can't get to you if they're dead. And banning Rexar against Maharba on this map is a very solid choice.
Yeah, you were mentioning the Maharba Rexar extraordinaire. So, Rexar, one of his better maps, Braxis Holdout, being able to hold that point. So, with first pick available, there's still a lot of good options. Like Chromie, you were mentioning Chromie. She is very, very good on a map like Braxis Holdout, available for a pickup. And if they don't pick it up, I'm curious to see if we're going to see that come out of Silver. Malthael actually picked up very early here, which is curious because typically you like to hold your offlaner on a map like Braxis so you don't get it countered.
And I agree, but he can get around the map pretty quick, and he can show up, and sometimes that's something kind of important that you want to have here. And his clear is decent, but yeah, I don't know that Malthael is anywhere near my Braxis Holdout first pick list.
Yeah, but
neither is Thrall.
Yeah, neither is Thrall, but there is
Chromie,
the Chromie
though.
coming in, which
Chromie's on there.
I anticipated. This is a Chromie map. Like Chromie loves Braxis Holdout. Can have the wave clear, can have the siege pressure. Ultimately can poke from a very safe distance and just annoy the opposing team off the point, and then you come in with your tank and just kind of take it over. And it's very, very small lanes, so Chromie really can't get flanked from anywhere as long as she gets her time traps down. Now, Murden is a pretty good answer to the Chromie, able to just jump past those slowing sands and get right on her face. But Falstad being picked up by Maharbra there as well, going for a lot more damage here in this second game, and also going for a lot of mobility coming out from the side of the blue team.
Yeah, I was about to say they're trying to win top lane, so they're gonna have Malthael up there against Thrall, and then Malthael's gonna be like, all right, go team go, Operation Kick-Ass or whatever, right? And then Falstad's gonna fly up, Muradin's gonna come up through the boss pit and jump over, and suddenly you're gonna have a 3v1.
Yeah, I mean, Li Ming getting banned out from DeepFriedMingBalls, another champion who does excel over those objective points, and Deathwing going to get the nod here. Not going to see him on the map of Braxis Holdout, which leaves me wondering if we're going to see a potential Garrosh steal here, or if we're going to see the potential just to flex into something entirely different. And, the interrupts are there, so I don't see the ETC being picked up, but I'm looking at Diablo as this is a map where you've got a lot of...
I think
it's the Mal'Ganis. So going for... This is a hyper carry, give all the power to Chromie, and let Mal'Ganis be that bully in the front lane, who does have good sustain, but does get... will have a little bit of a tough time in this early lane.
I would not have picked it in that spot. So we're gonna see a Brightwing and another, like a Kael'thas almost. Okay, no.
See the Deckard.
Lunara I had Lunara in mind, but she didn't have the point and click CC that I was thinking of. Unless Deckard takes stun stick at 16, they only have the Muradin Q to stop Mal'Ganis from doing anything. I think this is a mistake on the side of 9 Avatara. When a Mal'Ganis shows that early, you want to be able to stop his engages.
Yeah, you're really looking, when you see a Mal'Ganis, you're looking for that crowd control, wanting to get it there to make sure that Mal'Ganis, one, cannot engage, and two, as many interrupts as you can for his ultimates to make sure, because Mal'Ganis typically one of those champions who likes to hold his ultimate to the very, very, very last second and then pop it off. And if you can interrupt the channels, which he has for both ultimates, you could set yourself up for a very, very easy kill onto Mal'Ganis. So we're looking at all those more point and click kind of, or even the Stukov with the potential pool interrupt, but it's going to be the Deckard who can play around. They're going for more of the AoE. It's going to be really tough again to get onto Silver Arrow in the backline. Like, not being able to get past this front line seems to be the story so far in these two games. Lunara is going to give excellent vision. She's going to do well in the mid and late game on a map like Braxis, as long as they don't fall behind. So I really like what I'm seeing out of the 9 Avatara as far as the mid and late game goes, but they've got to get there, and they got to get there without falling too far behind. And so it's going to come down to how well this early pressure can come down from DeepFriedMingBalls, and maybe we'll see Falstad getting up into that top lane pretty frequently to help out the Malthael to make sure that they don't fall far behind.
Yeah, I think... So DeepFriedMingBalls is very, very clearly looking for these strong engage fights with the wombo from Gazlo, the setup from Anna and Mal'Ganis, and that's a lot of sleepy time. And hopefully, I say hopefully as someone who has preferences for Thrall, or about Thrall's talents, hopefully it's an Earthquake, because I just think Earthquake is so much stronger than Sunder, and it can do better things for setup. But 9 Avatara, I think, is looking for an avoid the fight type of a comp. We're gonna get ganks with Muradin and Deer, Bambi, and Falstad. We're gonna roam around and get ganks, but we're never gonna take a fair fight.
Yeah, so let's get these two teams introduced. On the red side, we've got DeepFriedMingBalls. We've got Miss So-and-so on the Mal'Ganis, the Hen on the Thrall, Silver Arrow on the Chromie, Sill on that Ana, and in the top lane, we got Kirkuro 66 on that Gazlo. I'm going to struggle.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
And in the blue trunks, we got Gecko on Lunara, Genghis Khan on Muradin, Maharba on Falstad on Swiftwing, Ska on Deckard, Pain, Kane, and Peanut Butter on the Malthael. That is your team, the 9 Avatar, representing EEs.
Yeah, and I mean, this early pressure onto the Mal'Ganis is very good. Miss So-and-so's got to be careful for the Q. Ana lands a great sleep dart onto the Muradin to make sure that Miss So-and-so can get to safety and top herself off. Meanwhile, on the top lane, I mean, looking at this matchup's going to be curious to pay attention to. I believe Malthael has the advantage early, but Gazlo will slowly start to ramp himself up. And look at this, 9 Avatara already going to go and try and pick up their camp here. Good timing on them, you know, getting this camp, but it's being sniffed out by the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. Miss So-and-so trying to get in, but the crowd control coming out. That's some pretty good crowd control so far, pretty much negating any type of advance from the Mal'Ganis. The camp did not get fully reset, so this is a big play by the blue team. But Red's not done. They're coming in. Chromie putting down some serious pain. Mal'Ganis did eventually get onto the point. Chromie very far ahead, but Miss So-and-so has to walk away. These camps have not been finished off. Muradin's coming back in with his health, and now they're turnaround onto the Hen. Thrall trying to get away. Mal'Ganis getting the knock up here. False head in as well. Everybody's so low, but the camp ultimately is going to be picked up by the side of the 9 Avataria, being resilient, bend but don't break, and getting their reward.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job there of not fighting. They had to deal damage, they had to push them away, but it was all like, oh, as Lunara is gonna be the first blood falling before the might of the Silver Arrow. Chromie drawing that first blood with the Dragon's Breath, and the both beacons go over to DeepFriedMingBalls. Falstad flying up top to get the advantage in the top lane. But yeah, they were fighting over the camp without really having to stay committed. And DeepFriedMingBalls just kind of let them get it because they couldn't risk taking too much damage from the Lunara, for instance, which I think is, yeah, that damage is representative of that fight.
Yeah, but look at the damage Chromie's already put down. They catch one target out with that time stop, and it is the tank, and the tank gets absolutely shredded. Chromie's sitting on 17 of 20 stacks right now, almost done with that level 1 talent, gonna be able to get that increased damage and the reduced cooldown as well. Meanwhile, Mal'Ganis looking like he's trying to just hold this point. Malthael having a bit of a time in the top lane, able to hold on to that point against the Gazlo as well. Gazlo just struggling a little bit in this early game. Hopefully we'll be able to get things turned around in his favor, but Peanut Butter says, no way, this is mine. You are not getting control at this point. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, 9 Avatari pressing. So far, for what I've seen, aside from the kill onto Lunara, 9 Avatari are coming out swinging in this game too.
Yeah, I imagine up in the top lane, Malthael's just singing to himself, peanut butter Malthael, as he's over there siphoning life off of Gazlo. Yeah, but the bottom lane, DeepFriedMingBalls holding this point really well, but a lot of poison damage going on to Miss So-and-so. But it is slow damage and it can get healed up by the almost manaless Sill on the Ana. So it looks like Genghis Khan is going to take it back over, and that's going to start getting Zerg channeling for the 9 Avatara. And this is going to be their opportunity to establish that early lead that we were talking about before. They are a very siege-heavy team as opposed to a brawly team. So if they can get this first objective and get some good push with it, they might be set up to just kind of avoid conflict the rest of the game.
Yeah,
but it's a big gank up in the top lane.
Yeah,
it's going to result in nothing.
Unfortunate there, but look at the siege going down in response. So again, the DeepFriedMingBalls trying to set up some pressure, and the 9 Avatara responding beautifully and getting some pressure of their own off of, knowing they had the numbers advantage. So look what they've done. They've been able to get a tower and most of the wall down as well. But Gazlo is healthy, gonna try and fight this Malthael in the top lane. The channel is going off just for a second, but Malthael able to win that out. We're gonna see who wins this fight, and Malthael is able to be the victor so far, not having much of a difficulty against this Gazlo. Curious to see if the Gazlo and Thrall are potentially gonna rotate, switch this up here and give some relief in that top lane, because right now Malthael is absolutely crushing in the top lane matchup. But we do see the actual channel go off, and it's being contested, so some good channel going in the favor of the blue team, up to 30% so far.
Yeah, I think Gazlo would do better in this 4-man, making utility out of the stuns and the lasers. And I think did he take heal? I don't think he took the heal off of lasers and such, but he can still provide a lot of that area control that Mal'Ganis and Ana want, although the turrets would do a lot to wake people up, so that might be a little bit conflicting. But if he's having trouble against that Malthael like we're seeing, then that might be a good rotation. I just don't know that Thrall does that much better against them.
Yeah, but Gazlo actually getting the back delayed a little bit. Malthael able to stall it out. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Thrall getting fairly low. Lunara does get pierced by the Chromie, able to land the Q, and that means that is going to be another kill and a little bit of a, I would say more of a deep, a breath for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, because right now the 9 Avatara, they are pressing, and they are pressing hard. Malthael having a very good match in this top lane, and it doesn't seem like they're getting as much headway in the bot lane as they expected with this comp. Chromie actually rotating up. Gonna see she does have the time swap. That means Malthael's coming all the way back, and that is the gank that we were looking for in the top lane. That's going to give Gazlo a nice little preview. Now let's see what the 9 Avatara can do in the bot lane. They've actually got Lunara rotating back, so finally they found some sort of relief in the top lane and are able to finally play the composition the way they wanted, but took 8 levels, so we'll see. And remember, I said I like the mid and late game transition that we see coming out of the blue side, so we'll see if the blue team can eventually, just delay this long enough till they start to come online.
Yeah, that time loop though with Chromie, it's such a short cooldown, it's going to have a large impact. I think the entire game, and we already saw it, just show up and get a kill, just kind of at will, right? And there goes Karkara as well. So Gazlo just joining the scrap heap. But DeepFriedMingBalls is holding the bot lane. That was a 3-man attempt, or actually 3-man success on Karkara's life up at the top lane by the 9 Avatars. So DeepFriedMingBalls having the numbers, trying to get a little push out, trying to get a little bit of siege damage in there as well. But Miss So-and-so having to get pushed out. Mal'Ganis not liking this poison damage coming out of Lunara. But this bottom beacon does get taken back, or at least reset, so the DeepFriedMingBalls stop gaining. But that is a time loop onto the Bambi, and the stun stops her from running away into the next Dragon's Breath. Mal'Ganis possibly CCing Bambi into extra life.
Yeah, and we do see the game. More importantly, Gazlo went to the top lane. Thrall was holding it off in the top lane, so they got no help. They did get the pick onto the Murden, getting a little too far forward there. Maybe trying to get that pick, when you got a Chromie and Ana both very low, you're like, oh, come on, if we could just get that last stun to go, we can get them. But 10's online now for both teams on the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. We've got the Dark Conversion, coming out. Ooh, big gank. I was in the middle of this, and Silver Arrow actually gets caught out here, so huge damage coming in with the Lunara and the Falstad, both able to put their burst damage down. That's a big pickup for the 9 Avatara.
Yeah, that's going to be of their second, right, because Gazlo was their first kill of the game. That's going to ease up that pressure, and kind of like you were talking about, we do have those heroics. Bambi with the leaping strikes, the bird laser, the blazer coming out of Falstad. Deckard Payne, I can't even say it right. Deckard Payne Kane with the Stay a While and Listen, story time with Uncle Deckard, last rites on the Malthael, and Avatar on the Muradin.
Look at that. So Chromie committing to the top lane does get the kill, but the channel is finished by the side of the 9 Avatara, meaning they've got the 100% Zerg, and they've got a massive Zerg wave here in this top lane. Falstad going to fly up and push with it. So first objective going over to the blue side. Thrall trying to press in the bot lane. The rest of the team trying to defend in the top lane. And this is probably going to be a fort picked up for the side of the blue team. And so good pressure. I consider this a very good early game win for the side of the blue team, knowing that they want to get to this mid and late game. Meanwhile, in the bot, Gazlo kind of hovering around, seeing where he wants to commit. If I'm the red team right now, the Gazlo Malthael matchup just isn't working. Malthael is loving that matchup, so you either have to find a way to get, maybe get Thrall up in the top lane and just sustain against the Malthael and get Gazlo down here for more kill pressure in the bot lane, or at this point, you just group as 5 and try to create pressure as a full team. But Miss So-So actually getting caught out here, does get away. The crowd control is going down. The Blazer does miss there. But the last rights does connect, and that is going to be a second pickup on last rights for Malthael at 2 of 10 stacks so far. So pretty good setup for that level 20 talent in favor for Malthael now. And now we see the 9 Avatara doing a good siege here in the bot lane.
Yeah, they have that pressure top. Gazlo's gonna have to answer that, and they did knock out the tank. So right now the Hen's the only sort of a front line. He's gonna get obliterated, gets caught by the Storm Bolt, and then good attempt by Genghis to intercept the damage going on to onto Lunara, but not quite in time. Silver Arrow picking up that kill on Lunara, so they're not gonna have the damage for this fort. And Mal'Ganis is back, and a 2-for-1 that I think ultimately saves a lot of fort damage, so maybe worth it.
Yeah, the interesting thing, there is no cleanse on the side of 9 Avatara.
Anybody?
So yeah, well, anybody, but the 9, especially for this temporal loop. So seeing the Chromie picked up early, maybe not going for that cleanse and going for Decker Cane instead. Let Chromie go, okay, I've got no cleanse, I can time loop and I can kill anybody that I want. And so, aside from potentially the Murden, the word is out on that. Once she gets, nano boosted by this Ana, she will be able to put down a whole heap ton of damage very quickly. But we got a 3-man gank onto the Gazlo top lane, throws down the grab bomb, only catches the Murden, and he's got no fort to run to. So this is going to be a free pickup. But in the bot lane, we see the DeepFriedMingBalls starting to push with their hero camp. We got the time loop onto Malthael, cannot get himself back. Big damage going down, and that'll be Malthael getting his life traded away, and the siege is afoot in the bot lane. The 4-man coming down from the side of the 9 Avatara, trying to get a pick onto this Ana here, gets the hit. Blades are coming down, Lunara lands a leaping strike, and that is going to be a pill. The sleep goes onto the Mal'Ganis, trying to get away, does throw the Dark Conversion, but throws it onto the Falstad, who is already very low, so no life picked up by the Mal'Ganis, and Mal'Ganis goes down as well.
That sounds like, or that looks like a misclick. But just a bloodbath though. Lots of damage coming out, and just in time for this objective phase coming up. So both teams really want. Normally you want to come out ahead on those fights, but that's just a rough time to take a loss, or a fight loss, because these objectives are going to start stacking up really well for the 9 Avatara with this numbers advantage, and a lot of pressure out, and Chromie not getting the kill with that time loop. And there's something to be said for knowing exactly where someone's going to be in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and look at this, another pick going over the Lunara, getting a ton of value here. We do see the 4-man rotating up. They are going to get the kill onto the Malthael. They will also, looks like, try to get the Avatar, is popped by the Murden, gonna get away, has a Decker Potion, doesn't pick it up. Maybe trying to wait for it, and we also have the Ruby going down as well, but Falstad able to push in this bot lane, and here we go. It looks like the side of the DeepFriedMingBalls are just going to try and do this group and push. Gazlo getting caught out a couple times is allowing the side of the blue team to get some sort of pressure created, and they are definitely, winning the overall map pressure and looking very strong in this mid game so far.
If the 9 Avatara can secure this 100-0, they could take the game right here.
Yeah, they've got the channel in the bot lane. Falstad won't be able to get it in time. Doesn't get the 2%. I thought he was going to potentially get the 2%, doesn't. And all 5 members of the DeepFriedMingBalls in this top lane, will they pressure or will they go respond to Falstad in the bot lane? Falstad is just excellent at being able to commit to this push in the bot lane and then just fly in when needed. Doesn't have the win, but Chromie able to land the loop. Hits the minions, unfortunately, but here comes the nano boost. We'll see if Thrall can get the stun. Falstad trying to dance, but dances back into the team. And so that is going to be Falstad going down. The channel will be finished by the side of the 9 Avatara. Lunara looking like she wants to pick a kill here. And this is going to be a full defense being called for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls.
I'll take that trade, Mongoose, probably. I don't know. I don't think Falstad had to die there. I think if he just kept going,
He could
but
have. Yeah, he could have gotten away potentially.
now they lose a lot of. So here's Nine Avatar is really missing out an opportunity here. Mouthfuel's fighting Gazlo in the middle and probably gets the kill. No, not quite. Off by just a couple of health. Lunara was clearing top, which probably good for one of them to do, but by having two showing on the map, DeepFriedMingBalls knew that they could start getting 50% of the clear out in the lane before it even gets to this keep. And so the Nine Avatar are losing a lot of value out of this 100-0 wave.
Yeah, and so we do see some pretty good siege going down in the bot lane. We do see the side of DeepFriedMingBalls trying to get in there. Chromie not able to get as much damage down on her targets quite yet. They're on even talent tiers. Thrall is coming back up in 8 seconds, and 2 forts to none in favor of the 9 Avatara. Now, the one thing they got to do on the side of the blue team is just make sure they don't throw. They've got the pressure created. They got to just make sure that they don't get caught out, get your camp rotations, make sure you create the pressure, and just use this map advantage to slowly bleed the side of DeepFriedMingBalls out, essentially. They will be able to get the pressure, and then all they have to do is just win the beacon game. So we'll see. They've got 5 members. Thrall is way away from the team right now, is kind of sensing that something may be afoot, so he's trying to rotate down to the bot lane, but all 5 members are here for the 9 Avatar. It's smart, just backing up, letting this game continue to develop as it has. They've got the experience lead. They just need to delay and make sure that they get set up for what they're ultimately looking for.
That Earthquake does come out from the Thrall, and we get the Avatar pop from the Muradin, but Thrall looks really low on fire, but it gets interrupted for the last rights, taking out the Thrall, and Mal'Ganis going to go down to the poison damage from the Lunara, the leaving strikes. So that Bird Laser is going to be up here in about right now. Look for it coming out in just a second. Going to be a 2-man hit onto the Ana. Maybe no, it doesn't even happen. Gazlo goes down. The Bird Laser still available. Are we? Oh, looking for that fly into the into a setup, and there's the Blazer out onto Silver Arrow. So, but you were saying Ice. They just got they got a full 5-man team wipe, 5-0, but you say don't throw. This is Brax's holdout in a DV game. Like, I may just be speaking from experience, but throwing is what happens here.
Well, I mean, that was not a throw. That was amazing. That's all good news for the blue side there, because Grav Bomb landed on 4 members. So DeepFriedMingBalls got the Grav Bomb they were looking for. They got a 4-man Grav Bomb, and 9 Avatar didn't lose a single member. So huge healing coming out of the Deckard. Absolutely massive play coming out of the side of the 9 Avatara. And they are back in this series. They're doing a very good job at responding from that game 1 defeat. 15-9 in kills, 20-18 in levels, picking up the boss, getting a keep. And all they really need to do here is just play aggressively, make sure that they are able to get both of these beacons and just fight off anybody that would come. There's no way you can fight down 20 talent tiers. So this should be 100% and a boss.
They need to stay in the center right quadrant of the map, like if you're doing vertical sections. But yeah, and not only was that fight good news for them, it's good news for the viewers, because more than likely this setup is going to get us at least a game 4 now.
Oh, absolutely.
And a big old 2-man grab bomb. Time loop out on the Falstad. The stay while listens not going to hit anybody. The Bird Laser going to catch 2. This so-and-so full of poison damage. Blindness of batting away. Gets to the health bound. Is going to heal up. Somehow managing to stay alive. I guess with the help of Ana there too. But 3 for nothing on that fight. And the 9 Avatar getting a full Zerg wave yet again. And if this doesn't take core, I will...
This is core. 100% Zerg wave coming in. What a response by the 9 Avatara, knowing that they didn't have the strongest of early games, but playing a very patient early game, getting their small advantages where they could, and ultimately just waiting to get to that mid-late game spike where they just took over this game. And we have an even series, 1 apiece, going in for these 2 teams.
Do you see those 4 health globes just chilling there?
I didn't know. But we are all even Steven here in this best of 5.
I got bad news for you and your plans.
Right. But look at what we've got going on here. 73 damage was able to put out. Chromie was able to put out the damage, but unfortunately they just didn't have any sort of response to follow up with the Chromie. And going back to the draft, looking at the way both of these teams drafted this one out, the Malthael was first pick, and you know where Malthael was going to go. You know that was a first pickup, and they picked Gazlowe into it, which I initially thought it was going to be Thrall into it, but they go with the Gazlowe. Gazlowe wants to go up against the Malthael, and Malthael had a very good time. Didn't even get that much support from the Falstad or the Lunara. Was able to just outright win that lane. Peanut Butter doing a clinic on how to play Malthael on Brax's holdout, and that allowed the 4-man to stay a 4-man in the bot lane. That forced the DeepFriedMingBalls to respond. And when you're going with a siege comp, if you lose a member of your siege comp to go help relieve pressure in the top lane, you can't siege, because now you're leaving your healer, your main form of damage, and then probably your tank in the bot lane, and the rest. When there's a Murden on the other side, he could just jump right on past Mal'Ganis and put a lot of pressure on that Chromie Ana in the backline. So I think it was just really, really well recognized by the 9 Avatara. They're like, we've got a good matchup in the top lane, and we can just wait and delay and then eventually come back and win this game.
Yeah, and that mobility that we were talking about early on too really played a role. We saw a bunch of multi-man ganks up in the top, and then the rotations back bot were pretty quick. While they were top, DeepFriedMingBalls did get some pressure bot, but it was never enough. It didn't last long enough. So the rotations came back down, and now top short a person, you can have a 5-man rotation bot, or you can get pressure in the lane. It just overall, I think the never take a fair fight worked out very well. I mean, obviously they got the W, but even then, the execution was beautiful. It was 18-9 on the kills, whereas like last game was a very one-sided game, and it was a bajillion to 2 on the kills. Here, 18-9 on the kills, but the fights were always or almost always very one-sided.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is exciting because both teams look like they were able to respond, in a pretty dominant fashion on a map apiece so far, setting up now what's going to be our normal best of threes. And we'll see how these two teams are able to, plan out what they're going to do. Let's get you guys over to the maps to see where we have going left. This is how it's played out so far. We've got Alterac Pass, Battlefield of Eternity, Infernal Shrines, and Dragonshire left. So three big maps, and then Dragonshire, which is very similar, not super similar, but it's very similar to a Braxis kind of setup where, if you get a very good off lane and are able to win that off lane pressure, your 4-man can, do so much work. So it'll be interesting to see where we decide to go for this game number 3. And it's going to be Infernal Shrine, picked up by the side of the 9 Avatara. DeepFriedMingBalls wanted to go for that first pick.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme lately is you lose and you pick up the first pick. And a lot of these matches have been mostly pick the map, lose the map. So, um and that's what we've seen so far so far tonight as well, is both of the map picks ended up in the L. So, the this is a weird map. Like, it seems like a pretty conventional MOBA map. You got 3 standard lanes, and the objective is pretty close to the lane, and then it pushes down the lane. Right? It's not a, oh well, half of the map is now disabled, or it's not direct damage onto core. It's just, and we march. And so you can do a lot of things with the comp like this. Uh, but I think the standard is just get some wombo that also has damage on the shrines, and you just kind of pick up whatever you can in the process. If it's heroes, cool. If it's shrine monkeys, cool. Like, we do damage and win. So I don't know that you have to get too creative, and more of a what we'd call a training wheels comp, I think, can work really well here.
Yeah, both these teams ready to go in the lobby. No wait between these two teams so far. It looks like we're going to have just another minute before we get into this game number 3. And yeah, I'm super excited to see where we go from here. But Infernal Shrines, going back to one of the things with Infernal Shrines is we get back into those overall 5v5 fights, which when we saw the game one kind of play out, when it was the 5v5 fights, DeepFriedMingBalls really liked those kind of fights. They seem to excel at those fights, especially with the draft that they had. We'll see if they can get a similar draft or not. But you can also play Infernal Shrines as a rotating format and try to find some ganks and map pressure. So I'm curious to see if the Falstad becomes a play again. There's some good pressure with that Falstad being able to play the macro game and then fly in when the team needs him most. So we'll see. It seemed to be like the 9 Avatara, as long as they could force DeepFriedMingBalls to kind of respond to them and ultimately force them to try and make a decision, they were able to use that chaos to create some sort of pain. And now we're going to see if the DeepFriedMingBalls are the ones that can make a few adjustments here in game number 3 and, send us over to a game number 4. Well, we're for sure going to game number 4, but, see who gets the 2-1 advantage.
Yeah, that'll ease a lot of pressure for game number 4. I don't think we'll see Deathwing again tonight. Also, Miss So-and-so is not in, and I think she's the only Deathwing player for the Ming Balls.
Yeah.
But the Lucio does go away. We don't have Universe in this one yet.
And we don't have
either.
Peanut again. We don't have Peanut. So Peanut subbed in for that game number 2, was able to put on a good mouth ale, and now subs out again. And like we said, these teams like to sub their teams. Yeah, they like to sub these people in and out as they go, maybe looking for some favorable matchups here. Hooli subbing back in. Maybe he's got his connections figured out, at least not going to be stuck in one place this time.
He's sufficiently yelled at his landlord.
Yeah, that's true. But Orphea and Lucio, same bands coming out. The Hogger as well. So going back to the bands in game number 1. And we'll see how the 9 Avatara decide to go with this last band and where they put the emphasis for the first pick on the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. Are they going to go and try and flex back onto that Maev? It's going to be the Brightwing, so that's what they picked up initially, first pick in game 1.
I don't know if it's because of my old Gazlo pickup early on.
But it's Hooli this time. So yeah, Hooli's going to go on the Gazlo instead of Kurkuro 66. Well, yeah, they could swap it. They could swap it.
Yeah, I think it was the Div E West finals, but my old eyes read some copy pasta as Silverado instead of Silver Arrow, and it's now shown up twice, so I'm scared.
But here we go.
Mirrodin again.
Mirrodin and Deckard
worked out really well.
Yeah.
And it's Deckard Payne, so you can't go wrong.
So now, they're going to respond. You got to find a response to Mirrodin. The easy solution to a Mirrodin is just get some Tank Shred. But I don't know how much Tychus, the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, play. And, Tychus has a very good counter to the potential Mirrodin play, because Mirrodin did cause so much chaos. And, wow. Not what I was expecting at all. Varian Asmodan.
Wait. Oh. Is he going to do it? This, I don't want to say, but So with Hint tanking on Varian, we've got Asmodan and Hooli up. Like, this just, I don't see another full-on mage coming in.
I definitely don't see a Deathwing coming in with this team comp. The Asmodan, I mean, he's very good on Infernal Stride. Asmodan does a lot of map pressure, creates a lot of map pressure, also has the siege pressure as well. So it's going to be really curious to see where the Asmodan decides to go and who they decide to pair with the Asmodan. Is it going to be the Tychus and get a very strong 4-man that they can burn through any taunt target Varian puts down? Or are they going to elect to get... I don't know, but I'm really curious to see what the 9 Avatara goes here. They get the Falstad again, which I like. Having that Falstad in response to the Asmo. And then they're going back to the... Shybor is going back to the Cassia.
Yeah, Shybar plays a really good Cassia. I'm sorry. The copy pasta's killing me. It's just so. Oh man. Um, I think I don't know that I don't know that the foul stat is that. Yeah. Okay. So looking at their comp, Zul'jin's kind of what I expected there. It's not as fun as the one hero that I won't mention, but I don't know that Falstad is gonna bring. It worked really well last game, but I don't think Falstad brings to a game as much as he did before he got rebalanced. With this last patch, he's really strong. He can get around the map, but I don't think he's gonna do what they want him to do. Now
That's a lot of map
Ragnaros is gonna
pressure.
be some pressure.
Yeah.
Also, I was gonna say Ragnaros is the sleeper of percent damage. It doesn't happen till level what 16, but 9% every 2 seconds or 4, depending on how the fights are going. But yeah, 9% of a health bar every 4 seconds is a lot of extra percent damage.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really exciting to see how these two. I mean, I love the drafts. Both teams, we're seeing a little more familiarity coming out from the 9 Avatara. Again, kind of mixing their two comps from game 1 to game 2, but throwing a Ragnaros into the blender. I mean, why not? Going to be able to have a lot of good map pressure response to the Asmodan. But DeepFriedMingBalls coming in with just a completely different comp. They got the Gazlo. They're going with a taunt variant with a Lili follow-up. So they're not going to get as much lockdown onto the taunted target there. And then they're going to try and use the Zul'jin, just this hyper carry into this late game.
Yeah, and with the Gazlo and the Varian kind of in that front line, he's got a lot of beef to allow him to put on that pressure that I think he's just going to be able to have a field day.
All right, why don't you take it away? Get our blue team introduced, victors of last map, and we'll then go over to the red.
In the blue corner, again, for the third time tonight, representing Div East, we have Ska on Deckard, Deckard Payne, Kane, Gecko on Ragnaros, Shybar on Cassia, Maharba on Falstad, on Swiftwing, and Genghis Khan on Muradin. That is your team, the 9 Avatara.
Meanwhile, on that red side, we've got Syl on the Lili, Karuk on the 66, on the Asmodan, that guy, as I would like to call him, the Hen on Varian, Huli on Gazlo, and we've got Silver Arrow on the Zul'jin. And here we go, Gazlo getting stunned out by the Muradin. The response is there, the damage being thrown down, and all this early fighting, as we know, with the Zul'jin. Zul'jin loves the early scrapping, wants to get those stacks plenty here. And Gazlo already rotating up into the top lane. Silver Arrow going to try and just get as much damage as he can, making sure these stacks, and that's really what we're going to be on this map, is stack watch on Silver. See how high he can get. And will he be able to keep up with the pace of this game? Meanwhile, the 9 Avatara, they just got to, stay away from the Zul'jin. Get the soak, but don't let Zul'jin get his stacks.
Yeah, and every auto attack that doesn't hit a hero is an auto attack that makes Zul'jin cry.
Yeah, but, I mean, 2 already. Muradin getting fairly low there, but a double root coming out of the Deckard. Gonna stop any sort of potential engage. And now we see the camps online. Falstad rotating back into that mid lane. Gonna try and get some of that soak going. And the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, we do see Silver Arrow responding. Gonna try and get his stacks onto the Falstad. Maybe try and set up some sort of gank. Varian is gonna get that level 4. So from this 4 to 10, it's gonna be very scary if you're the side of the blue team, not wanting to get picked off by this taunt Varian. But once you get to your 10s, then it's it's all afoot here for both these teams.
Yeah, that's a very stacky DeepFriedMingBalls. I mean, this is a very stacky all the teams, honestly. Everyone except for Deckard, and yeah, everyone except for Deckard on 9 Avatara has some form of stacking quest going on, and then Gazlo and Lili are like, yeah, we're cool too.
Yeah.
So both teams have a lot of reasons to want to fight each other, but I think Zul'jin scales the best out of them. Falstad and Cassia also have unlimited stacking quests here, but yeah, I don't know how that compares to Zul'jin scaling.
Yeah, Zul'jin's going to be a skeleton. The taunt is available, so the Hen going in gets the taunt and ultimately gets it on the Falstad E, so Falstad cannot get himself to safety, and that is going to be a good rotation pickup by the red side, but a good response in the bot lane. Immediately going to go find value somewhere else. The 9 Avatara going to pick up this bottom camp for themselves, and this is going to keep the experience and the map pressure at least a little bit in their favor. But big siege already starting off in the mid lane. The side of DeepFriedMingBalls just wanting to get as much pressure as they can. Falstad already back from his flight, but the tower and the wall does go down. So, you know, map pressure for map pressure here created by both these teams.
Absolutely. This first Punisher is a frozen Punisher, so it's going to be really big to get. I need just a second. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
No, that's fine. I'll take this one. We got a frozen Punisher first objective. I anticipate this will be all hands on deck for this first Punisher. Everybody in position to get the scrapping going. And now we just watch the stat count. Ragnaros actually getting stunned out. The taunt going to follow down, and that is going to be no, not quite yet. Deckard landing some critical heals. Rag actually able to survive. Zul'jin wanting to get a fight. Murden able to dwarf toss himself to safety there. And so nobody dies. That is incredible because I thought for a second Ragnaros was just dead to rights with the Gazlo stun, the follow-up from the taunt, but it just wasn't there. But this is going to be the 9 Avatara ceding this objective over to the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. The Frozen Punisher going to get a lot of value, and we'll see what they can create with this Frozen Punisher in the bot lane. We do see the Punisher continuing to press down this mid advantage. Gazlo actually soaking out the mid lane before he goes top. The Punisher should bounce over here onto the Falstad first. They do not get the wall down, so that means this Punisher will not get the the fort turned off, excuse me, and the pings go down. Unless they can break these walls down, that is going to be the Punisher being slain. And ultimately, a good taunt onto the Murden, gets caught out by the last Icicle coming out from that Frozen Punisher, roots him in place. Varian gets the follow-up taunt, and that is going to be a kill picked up by the DeepFriedMingBalls.
That was a fast shrine, though, huh? Holy crap, I come up and the Punisher's already about to die.
Yeah, but look at the siege pressure. Already sieging this mid lane. Falstad got a little far forward. Hen electing not to pull the trigger there. Zul'jin sitting at about 9 stacks so far, but the walls and the forts are starting to fall, and if this map can get opened up, this is going to allow Varian a lot of avenues to flank with this taunt.
Yeah, my Zul'jin player gets upset if we get kills too fast. He's like, how do I get my stacks?
Yeah, I don't believe it. But now I'm wondering if they're going to set up this aggressive invade. It looks like they're posturing for the aggressive invade, which would benefit them with the taunt variant. Zul'jin going to just try and continue to get his stacks, but there's no way this camp really can be contested. Falstad committing to the gank in the top lane, and now Hooli putting the punish down on the Ragnaros with the Gazlo there. So game 2, the Gazlo got bullied. Game 3, the Gazlo's being the bully. Falstad having to commit to that top lane, meaning we got a 4-man pressure here in the bot lane from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. And Asmodee looking like he's going to go for that demonic invasion build.
In defense of Gecko, Ragnaros doesn't outright win any of his matchups. He can beat other offlaners, you just have to absolutely outplay them. But Ragnaros' strength comes from that map pressure, turning a 3-lane map into a 2-lane map.
Absolutely.
Turning a 2-lane map into a 1-lane map, turning it into ARAM, right?
Yeah, but we got Cassia taunted out here. Zul'jin actually getting rooted, but gets the cleanse popped from the Lily. Nice timing from Syl there, making sure she can get Silver back into the fray. Silver sitting at about 13 stacks on the Zul'jin right now, stat count. Murden sitting only about 7 stacks so far on that level 1 passive, or just the passive, really. And, you know, looking to get himself stacked up there. But this is actually a really big push. 10s are online. The demonic invasion has been picked up. Tazdingo comes in from the Zul'jin. We got the Cup of 1,000 Jugs by Lily. We have got... we've got the Robo Goblin coming in from the Gazlo. Gonna want to continue to be that bully in the top lane, and we've got the Warbringer coming in from the Arian. So gonna be able to bounce himself all around, and we'll see what. Here comes the demonic invasion in the bot lane. This is gonna be the fort going down. There's no stopping this with nobody in positioning. Gazlo does go down to the Falstad. Falstad actually staying fairly healthy. Has the Hinderling Blast for the ultimate pickup as well. Gonna fly into the mid lane. I thought he may be flying all the way to the bot lane. But
that taunt, speaking of the bot lane, that taunt on the Mirrodin, really big, but he ends up popping Avatara to stay alive. He goes down to half health. Zul'jin getting a lot of stacks off him. That fort almost down. Yeah, I had to chuckle because You gave me the perfect opportunity to jump in right as I stuffed my face.
But here we go, second objective online. It is going to be that Infernal Punisher. Gonna be able to see if they can get some sort of pressure created around this. Again, this one, not notoriously known as one of the scarier ones. However, with the taunt variant, it can be an absolute fearful thing, keeping a person in place for a long time. The Valkyrie goes out, catches Varian. We have the 1,000 Jugs coming out, healing everybody back up, and the sustain coming in from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, allowing them to catch back up over this objective. The Jugs are down. Varian gonna find his way back into this fight, looking for another target, looking for the Falstead. And then we see
this use of Molten Core. It's aggressive onto the shrine. It's gonna help pick up stuff, and it kind of should bully DeepFriedMingBalls off a bit. But they're so beefy, they're not really gonna feel it. So Molten Core is not available for the defense of this Punisher, which is unfortunate. But again, I really like the aggressive use of that skill.
Yeah, this Punisher probably going to get this fort. He's going to get the stun down there. The taunt follows, but the Porter does not put any shots onto the Murden, meaning Murden will get himself away. So one, you know, everybody's looking for the Punisher to assist in with this Mortal Punisher, doesn't get the assist onto the Murden, and the siege continues, gets another stun, the Demonic Invasion thrown down, and they're trying to break through this wall, getting at most of this keep wall already picked up, but the Lava Wave going to end any sort of pressure here in the mid lane, and this will be the front wall of the keep being destroyed, and that will be about it. I'm curious to see if we're going to see a rotation down to the bot lane to finish off this bottom fort as well. And it looks like that's where DeepFriedMingBalls are headed. Asmodean going to be able to clear this out. Sitting on 132 stacks right now. Zul'jin on 21, trying to get those last 9. But it is a 5v4 situation. We do see the Hinderling Blast come out. Asmodean getting fairly low. Decker Kane only catching the Asmodean with the sleep. The cleanse is popped. Everybody sounding the retreat from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. So no kill picked up there. And Gazlo able to get the camp in the top lane.
Yeah, that Ragnaros looks like he's gonna head up to respond to that, maybe catch his mid soak first, but otherwise uncontested that Shaman Camp can do a lot. But yeah, Ragnaros is headed on up. That the Impaler is getting picked up on both sides, possibly an invade. No.
Oh, we do see the Murden.
Ooh, and a big taunt onto the Murden, but nothing else going on. There's the root from Zul'jin onto him. The auto attack's coming out, but Zul'jin not able to. I just don't think he liked the fight. I don't think he liked the positioning, because he hardly attacked there. Now, granted, he is at full health, so he attacks slow. But I don't... It was a good taunt, but it didn't look like either team wanted the fight.
Yeah, so Ragnaros actually still getting bullied out in the top lane. Gazlo, especially with the Robo Goblin, is going to win any fight against that Ragnaros. But like you said, the Ragnaros is going to be able to get the map pressure. We do see Asmodean just able to sneeze on this bottom fort, get the second fort picked up for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. Meanwhile, the 9 Avatara looking like they want to potentially set up a gank onto Huli here, but Huli being very, very careful with this rotation, and now we've got the rotation coming up from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. The engage is here, the cleanse is popped, a Robo Goblin able to get himself out. The taunt goes down onto the Ragnaros. He does not get away this time. Jugs are coming out from the Lily. Hinterling Blast able to get everybody low, but not finish everybody off. And now we've got a big pressure in the bot lane. And this could be, you know, top fort going down as well. Everybody on the side of 9 Avatara showing in the bot lane. That means a 5-man siege going to come out in this top lane. And this is going to be a third keep pickup. Or third fort, excuse me, pickup. Demonic Invasion already dropped. Everybody able to siege this one out. And now, if I'm the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, I'm looking at this top siege camp. Seeing what we can find. You know, maybe get a steal here and keep this map pressure. You know, look for that 16 if we can get it. And make a play around the 16 with this next Punisher.
Yeah, these bruisers, as this shrine's about to start spawning, which should now be an arcane shrine, but I haven't checked it yet, is going to be a lot of pressure. It's going to force... Oh, there goes the Castigo coming out from Silvera, and the blinded Murden jumping away. Silvera staying alive with just a little bit of health. The meatball quest does get finished, and there is the Blazer coming out onto, I believe, just a Gazlo. So nobody's died yet, but everybody's getting real low, and everyone's pressing their buttons. And there goes the auto attack and the taunt onto Murden. Murden is going to go down. There is the Jugs yet again to top off the team. And that is going to be the fight over to DeepFriedMingBalls with the 1 kill. And this probably is also the Punisher.
Yeah, so, you know, the one thing that's interesting to me, we're seeing a stark difference in just the approach from both these teams. For as bloodbathy as game 1s and 2s were, we're at 16s and it's 4-1 in kills. So very little
And
kills
one
being
kill is
going
enough for a
over.
fight.
Yeah, 1 kill is enough to sway it. But this is the important part. We have a Demonic Invasion Asmodan with an Arcane Punisher in the bot lane. This is probably all hands on deck for DeepFriedMingBalls. They could get a very scary push here, and potentially, if they get some good picks, end the game right here. So this has to be a huge defense coming out from the 9
ASMR warning for
Avatara.
the chat. Asmo go core.
Yeah, so here we go. We've got the siege. The Demonic Invasion still being held, getting all this clear before the Punisher even arrives. Punisher is here, the Molten Core being thrown down, jumping in. Gazlo actually backs away, so he's not committing to this fight, meaning the Valkyrie gets thrown down onto the Zul'jin. Tazdingo is popped, the Lava Wave putting out so much damage, and now the rest of the team not able to respond, get the siege that they're looking for. Maybe the turnaround is here. We do see Varian looking for a fight, but no Gazlo means no pressure. You know, they don't have the kill pressure. Everybody's low, but they're not electing to do a lot with this pressure, more looking for just the keep and then using this as their win condition.
Yep. I mean, I think the keep is all you can really hope for there at this level. You know, you have 17s, everyone's up. You're right, you didn't have the kill pressure. Maybe you can get more out of it. But I think wearing down the keeps is just this slow, methodical path to success, especially with this Asmo Go core that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot of patience coming out from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. You know, comfortable with. Sorry, I missed that in the top lane. Too busy, you know, analyzing it. It's a nice rotation.
Just a 5-man murder on the
Yeah,
Gazlo.
just a 5-man rotation onto the Gazlo, getting kind of ganked there in the top lane. But you know, this is a very methodical, macro-heavy kind of game coming out from the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. They got a lot of pressure in this mid lane with the Gazlo rotating there, so they can finish it off with a Demonic Invasion anytime they want, especially when that 20 comes online. And they're, you know, they already know next shrine is in the top lane. So if they can get the mid keep down before this shrine comes out, that's what they're looking for right now, is find some way when the Gazlo comes back online to get the map pressure high enough that they can siege out this mid lane with a Demonic Invasion and get the keep in the middle, creating so much map pressure that this top shrine is really going to be a tough objective for the 9 Avatara to pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all of it. So at this point, how does 9 Avatar get back in other than playing for 20? Getting 2 waves is going to ease up a lot of pressure and can completely turn the game around. But there's not really a position for 9 Avatar to take where they can safely get to 20 before this next shrine comes up.
They should be able to get there. You know, the shrine won't be up for probably another minute, but this is exactly what I wanted to see out of the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. You know, they got the mid fort. There is an engage coming in here. Falstad using the laser to get everybody below, but Lili able to heal everybody up. They did burn the Molten Core from the Ragnaros. Actually, Murden going way in deep here. Does not have the rest of his team behind him. Only able to find Huli. The sleep goes down. That's 1 kill, but look at the return coming out from DeepFriedMingBalls. Able to get the Murden, and now on the hunt. Find the Deckard taunt. Zul'jin gonna love this. He's gonna get the stacks going. Ragnaros is gonna be next to fall here, and that's 3 kills looking for the Falstad, and this could be a core call. They have a Zul'jin who has Tazdingo available. They could just siege this up, but they're looking like they're gonna back out and go for the Punisher. The 50-second death timers, I mean, I don't know. They have the taunt Varian.
Level 20, you got 3 dead. Zul'jin go core.
So yeah, Zul'jin Asmodan go core is my call right here. Like they're looking now Arrow's maybe making the call like, hey guys, let's go core. It seems like, okay, they're gonna try and siege up this keep. Asmodan's gonna go solo the shrine and go for the, you know, 97% play rather than the, you know, 75% play, which you can respect. It's the finals. You want to go for the thing that's going to ultimately get you the win. But man, I thought with everybody being down there, having your healer alive, Zul'jin with a Tazdingo, and your Asmodan, I thought the core could have been the call, because now everybody on 9 Avatara are back up. And so it's going to be, can they defend this last keep? It is that Frozen Punisher again. So, you know, the pick potential with the Varian is there.
Yeah, there's the Lava Wave to clear out the middle lane, and in a few short seconds, probably going to see it clear out the bottom lane. And this is a big defense opportunity. I almost... Molten Core on the Dead Fort for stall, I think with 5 pushing wouldn't be as good as it could have been as it might be on
I
some
don't
other
believe
maps.
Molten Core is available yet from those
I
Ragnaros.
haven't even looked at
I
that.
think the timer is
It
still down.
4 seconds left.
Yeah, it's
He is up.
close. But here we go, the taunt
It's
going
up
down
now.
onto the Murd and the Molten Core being thrown out. They get the keep picked up. Lily gets stunned out by the Ragnaros, so that is the cups being done. The Punisher still there, Lava Wave being thrown down. He gets the jump, but everybody's just a little far back. Silver Arrow, the only one forward. Everything is in here. They're looking for the taunt. Can they find it? Ragnaros is going to be, actually, Falstad is the call. Instead, the core is getting fairly low. Murden sitting right in the middle. Deckard Cain comes out with the sleep. The Punisher gets the final slam. That is Falstad going down as well. Stay a While tried to help, but unfortunately, everybody is so low. Ragnaros trying to do everything he can to keep this core alive, but the Jugs are back out. No stun will interrupt this, and this is going to be game 3 going over to the Deep Fried Ming Balls.
When that Stay a While came out, I thought 9 Avatara was going to be able to get the wipe, but very well executed game out of the Deep Fried Ming Balls, keeping the squishies protected. And a very low count game. Hooli again feeding.
Hooli again feeding, getting all 3 deaths for the side of Deep Fried Ming Balls there. But man, I mean, that was a very methodical game played out for the side of Deep Fried Ming Balls. It looked like there were several opportunities, but they stayed patient. They didn't give up on objectives, on pushes, but they kind of held back to see, kind of feel out the play and see what ultimately how it would, turn out for them, and eventually, ended up getting the win there, and taking us all the way to a game 4 and putting season line pressure on the blue team.
Yeah, the pressure was strong. It's almost like they took the 9 Avatar strat in game 2 and said, "Hey, we're going to put pressure here. When you're here, we're going to put pressure there. When you're there, we're going to put pressure here. And also, we're just going to like roll damage into your face as an added bonus." But again, like you mentioned earlier, the big difference between these last 2 games, well, the first 2 and this one, is huge amounts of just brawling in the first 2, or catching everybody and then absolute murder. Um, and then here it was a very low kill count game. It's all right, we get in, we get the kill, we get out. And that's what a taunt variant does for your team. It says, hey, we only need 1 kill, then we're going to kind of back off because I'm useless now. So they made that work and they disengaged well. They were able to keep those advantages going. I think 9 Avatara avoids a little bit more of the variant, maybe takes a cleanse. Deckard's really strong. I think Deckard's there for more extended fights, which into Varian and Zul'jin, right? When into these pit comps, you're not getting those extended fights. So I think Deckard kind of falls off a little bit. I think something with the cleanse or something to help escape. So either something like a Stukov to help escape, something like the Rhaegar with a cleanse, or an Uther with a cleanse and a little bit extra CC, even that armor to help with that pick, I think gets them through the initial engage and then lets them turn fights.
Yeah, so I mean, all really solid points, and I really, I can't stress enough how a good of a comeback all these teams have done, so far through this series. Where in game 1 it was a very dominant performance by Deep Fried Ming Balls, but then game 2, 9 Avatara responded beautifully. Picked a different composition, kind of set back, was patient, allowed their comp to kind of work out the way they wanted to, and were able to, ultimately get that game 2 win, pretty dominantly too on Brax's holdout. And then in game number 3, we get Deep Fried Ming Balls kind of taking a page out of the 9 Avatara playbook and doing the same thing, and playing that patient game. And oh man, I was told we might potentially get this tonight, and I am so excited to see it. The map has been picked. First pick again, going over to the 9 Avatara. That means Deep Fried Ming Balls got to pick the map, and they are sending us to my favorite map of Heroes of the Storm, Battlefield of Eternity.
All right, so which map are the teams avoiding? Are they avoiding Alterac or Dragonshire?
I don't believe they're avoiding Alterac.
You think you,
So so
you said
this
they're
this is
not
this
avoiding
is
Alterac?
no this is my theory right here. So we got sent to Battlefield of Eternity because I was told that we can't go this entire series without a Battlefield of Eternity map since I was casting it. I was like, oh, I love these two teams for that. But but even if Deep Fried Ming Balls do drop this game and it goes to a game 5 match, they get to go to one of their favorite maps in Alterac Pass.
Silver Arrow just said that they picked this map for you.
Aw, Silver, thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's a fun map. It's definitely, while Towers of Doom has a different core mechanic, I feel like Battlefield of Eternity is probably the most unique map in the way that it's played, because you can't really interact with the lanes for most of the objective. And I don't think there's another map that you can't just like pop up and soak during an objective. And while when they're the top and bottom, they're still far enough away that it's really a sacrifice on the objective to do that. Whereas, except for maybe Cursed Hollow, where sometimes they're out in the middle, but even then, that's more of a standard type of a map.
Yeah. I really like the thing I like most about Battlefield of Eternity is there's so many different ways to play this map. Like, you could play this map with Siege, you could play this map for Race, you could play this map for Team Fight, and then make the other team respond to the way you want to play the map. And there's so much potential. Now, fortunately, Vala is banned. Vala cannot be picked up, as is Raynor. So the Race game is kind of eliminated to a certain degree at this point. There's very few, Li Ming is there, Greymane is there, Artanis is still there, but the main racers that we typically see on Battlefield Eternity, in the Raynor, in the Vala, are both not able to be picked up due to the rework. So it's going to be interesting. I anticipate maybe both these teams, the way they played Game 1 2, are going to go more for the team fight again, rather than try and go for that overall race mechanic.
Yeah, and racing is such a strong method, but I found that letting the enemy make a mistake, so sitting in a bush, playing defensively, getting that early defense, and then just committing a whole bunch of murder all over their face is, I don't know, they can't race if they're dead, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the old adage for if you decide to go for an overall team fight build is the other team cannot race if they're dead. So just kill them.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think it was my my Uncle Chin told me that one.
But here we go again. Peanut Butter subbed back in. Came in, didn't play game 1, came in game 2, delivered a clutch Malthael performance. Subs out game 3, now coming back in game 4, picking up Malthael first pick yet again. And Peanut Butter was a big factor in that game 1. But Garrosh and Brightwing being picked up. Mrs. So-and-so going to go on that Brightwing Garrosh being picked up by Hooli. I mean, I think Hooli's just doing this just to make me laugh right now. Got to show the meme with the Hooli Diva Bomb. Fortunately, I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah, we don't have... Oh, yes! Oh man, I gotta go find that.
But, I mean, here we go. Murden and Deckard being picked up again by the 9 Avatars. So, worked in game... This is the same comp. Same draft. Oh, no, they didn't pick up Deckard. They didn't pick up Deckard. They picked up, I think, the Falstad as their third pick.
They picked up Malthael again. And Universe is back in. I will say, though, speaking of the famous Hooli Diva Bomb, he made the right choice there. That was the right thing to do. It may look like a betrayal on, I believe it was Elixir.
It was.
It was absolutely the right move. The bomb can go off on 4 or it can go off on 1.
It was just so hilarious casting that in real time and watching the Diva Bomb get chucked, and it got chucked right on top of his head and blew up. And I just laughed it off. I was like, that was really funny. And then they took it and they made a YouTube video out of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But Hen picking up the variant yet again, and Chromie being picked up by Sil. So Silver Arrow holding his pick for the very, very last pick. Maybe trying to come in with some, very big counterplay. But the Hen's going to now be in the top lane against the Malthael. So Twin Blade variant going to be going up against the Malthael in the top lane. Tychus picked up. Going to be that shred for the Garrosh, and we'll see how they round this out. Rexxar. Whoa. Rexxar
He's
picked
a good
up.
Rexxar player.
He is a good Rexxar player. You've mentioned that all night, and it wasn't banned. Curious to pair it with the Malthael. We'll see what Silver. I'm curious if we're going to see the Maiev again. This screams Maiev again to me.
I don't know what they'd play it with though.
Yeah, they don't have as much damage. I mean, with the Garrosh, this could be Greymane too. I don't know if he plays Greymane. Oh, of course. How did I forget about Mephisto? Silver, I apologize. I completely forgot. Mephisto.
Well, they already had the Chromie, and you don't see double mage a whole lot. So, but there's an extra target in Misha.
And there is a stun.
Yeah, so I think, and I love Durance of Hate here. I mean, I love Durance of Hate on Mephisto anyway. It's his only heroic. But I really like Mephisto on this map because of the choke points and where he can bounce in and out of. I think it works really well. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. More so than usual.
Yeah, the thing that I always love and comment about double mage is, we typically don't see double mage a lot. Hardly ever. But what it does very, very well is the burst damage you can put onto one target. You can absolutely shred through any target you want with a double mage comp. But then you're on a 15-second cooldown until you can do it again. So if Garrosh can land a throw, knock him up, Chromie lands the Qs, and we get Mephisto to get on top of it. They can burn a lot of these targets down, except for the Murden, as Malthael is not the healthiest, Rexxar and Misha are not the healthiest. So we'll see how this double mage comp can play, but let's get these teams introduced. Why don't you throw away the blue side, and I'll go toss the red.
Yeah, so over here in the blue corner, coming in down 1-2, the 9 Avatara, Rexxar, played by Maharba, Genghis Khan on the Muradin, Universe on that Tychus, Deckard Payne, Kane being played by Ska, and up here in the top we got Peanut Butter Malthael, that is the 9 Avatara.
Meanwhile, on the red side, we've got Huli on the Garrosh, Silver Arrow on the Mephisto, Sil on the Chromie, Miss So-and-so on that Brightwing, and up in the top lane, we've got the Hen on Varian. And these two teams starting to duel it out here in the bot lane. I definitely have to give my early game kill pressure going over to the side of DeepFriedMingBalls if they can get a target that they're looking for with the toss here.
Well, I gotta represent my coast. Let's go east.
Ooh, Misha actually does get away here. Brightwing tried to get that last bit, but did not get it. If you are fans of the 9 Avatar and want this to go all the way to game number 5, let me see that support coming out in chat for our team. Season on the line for the blue side. Can they pull this out again like they did in game number 2 and send us to a showdown match? Here we go. We got a big Deckard stun coming in here. 3 targets there, but Tychus actually the one that gets thrown. The polymorph goes down, but I mean, you got to give it up to Murden there, stepping in front of Chromie to take both of those Qs, saving Tychus's life. That was an absolute huge play by Genghis Khan there.
Yeah, the early game, everybody press your buttons and nobody die, just coming in clutch for NGS all season. Although there's a lot of stacking going on the side of DeepFriedMingBalls, something that 9 Avatar needs to be aware of. Game's kind of getting a little bit low there on the mirror. Misha just saying, I'm cool, yo. We chill.
Yeah, look at all the stacking. Chromie at 7, Mephisto at 21, needing, I believe it's 40. It is 40. Yeah, 40 for that number. But here in the top lane, I mean, we're going back to it again. The Hen actually going to go aggressive here. The polymorph goes down onto the Malthael. So Malthael may get bullied off of this objective. Has no support and in a 2v1 situation. So Peanut Butter's got to run. Rexxar is here to lend an aid, but Peanut Butter, again, looks like he's getting the upper hand in a lot of these fights. Now, it is Varian pre-4, so he's not going to be able to do as much as he will later, but Malthael just being that bully. Peanut Butter having a very good game.
It's Varian at all. Have you seen the way he runs his kingdom? Like, I don't think he can do much of anything.
But it is the Twin Blades Varian, as expected. Going to go into this matchup. and starts to put the pain down. Meanwhile, it's a 3-on-3 in the bot lane, which, you know, Garrosh just looking for a target to throw, only has the Murden as that front line. No camps being picked up. It looks like Varian's now going to go start this Bruiser camp. Bruiser camp not started yet by the 9 Avatara. Tychus looking like he's heading in that direction. And Brightwing just going to be able to get this soak safely in the top lane, and Garrosh get it in the bot lane. Actually, Garrosh looking like he wants to go maybe pick up this camp with Mephisto. So, big early games coming out of both teams. No deaths yet. First objective is online here. Looking to see if we can get, it looks like so far, teams setting up for the race. Tychus now getting this camp a little late, but able to get it nonetheless. Bottom camp was picked up, and here we go. Fight going down. The Punisher may get the Mephisto able to get out barely from that stun coming down from the Immortal. Misha, being the focus here, ends up getting away, and so good defense so far. Malthael is in the top lane, so the defense is, you know, effective. Malthael going to be able to get that soak and prevent a lot of this pressure, but here we go. A big 3-man route coming out of the Deckard. Misha getting thrown into the back line. Goodbye, Bear, and this allows the race to continue for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. Halftime.
Yeah, the early race is actually working out really well for them, and I'm kind of surprised given the not so consistent damage of the team. But then again, I'm not sure Tychus Malthael is that great of a race either, but Garrosh and Brightwing do get absolutely obliterated here coming in out of this halftime period. So look for this beefy front line to delay, and I guess Misha and Tychus will like chip away at the Immortal.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little miscommunication. Chromie and Mephisto went to the bot lane to clear out the camp. Tychus, not a fast racer at all. I mean, look at it. He's basically spitting on that Immortal over there. And that's going to give Garrosh and Brightwing time to get back. As long as Mephisto could keep this poke up with the Chromie. When Garrosh gets here, Hen's got to be very careful. Ends up getting just barely away. And the poke is back on. Tychus abandoning the siege now, which is smart. Coming to help the rest of the team. Murden setting up for some sort of gank. Garrosh popping the Indomitable, getting himself to safety. Meanwhile, Hen trying to find some sort of gank. They're trying to get the finish burn with the Chromie. That is going to be Mephisto going down, but the Punisher is picked up by the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. They will get the first one in the top lane, and they're going to send all members, it looks like. Nope. Varian's going to go bot, but most of the members to this top lane. Mephisto still waiting on that 4 seconds. So this Punisher will probably only get, or Immortal, excuse me, will probably only get this front wall, maybe a little bit of the fort. Has a pretty big shield, but that's going to be, you know, what the side of DeepFriedMingBalls are looking for without the Mephisto. At least I anticipate Garrosh to get a little further forward here. He's not really worried about dying and trying to bully off. There was a lot of shield damage. They allowed the side of 9 Avatara to burn there.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of pushing power with this Immortal, and again, the siege damage on either team is just kind of lacking. But again, that's kind of what we were talking about. Like, you can put so much, you can draft so many different ways for this map, and not gonna lie, this way is confusing.
Yeah, but I mean, even with the first objective going over in favor of DeepFriedMingBalls, the 9 Avatara got 3 kills, and Malthael, excuse me, was able to get a lot of the soak. So playing the macro game is working out. They're winning this race to 10. Silver Arrow trying to find any way to get a lot of damage on this Mephisto. The Sansa time goes down from the Chromie there, and continuing to just poke away. Almost done with that level 1 stack at 36 currently. Gets 4 more, and then she will get that extra Chromie clone, and will be able to put down that much more damage with her Qs.
An extra Clomie.
A Clomie. A Clomie.
Or a sand homie.
A sand homie. Love it. But here we go. The 10s. Ooh, time trap and stop, but it's on the Murden, so he can just dwarf toss himself away. Misha, however, will not. This bear is going so slow, but oh, it does not get away.
Peter.
And that is going to be another pickup
for 9 Avatara, though.
Yeah, they do have their 10s, meaning this camp is all theirs. We have the drill picked up by Tychus, Avatar picked up by the Murden. We do see Deckard getting tossed by the Garrosh. They don't have the damage quite yet. Deckard at 40 health and gets himself. Mephisto's there trying, but cannot get it. Gets the Brightwing heal, and now everybody having to run. The 10s are not online, and the drill getting a lot of value. Miss So-and-so trying to get away on that Brightwing. I mean, it was so close there. But Mephisto able to get the Tychus, gets the
I
reward.
was so worried that no one was gonna die, and I was about to be so angry. Now, it should have been E West dying there because let's go E East. But I was about to be so mad.
But here we go. We got Mephisto starting the race. Doesn't have the best race. Actually gets stunned out there. But Varian is here. Does have the race. Is going to able to start shredding this thing down. The camp was picked up. Going to start sieging the top lane. Murden going to go for the camp. So there's going to be no contention for this first halftime show. Waiting for Tychus to get online. Again, I like the call from the Avatara. Finding pressure elsewhere on the map, knowing they cannot really contest this. That's going to be the first halftime show going in favor of DeepFriedMingBalls. And now, will they be able to win this second half on their 10s, or will we see the 9 Avatara get a great defense?
Muradin didn't even finish the camp up there. He didn't clear. He just came down, and I don't see them getting in. Well, Misha's up front. Unleash the Boars hasn't gone out yet. There it is right there. That's going to get the slow. The hand looking really low. Going to get jumped on by the Muradin, and Mephisto shading in. He's about to bounce back if he can survive it. And Misha does go down. Somehow Varian staying alive, more than likely thanks to the huge efforts from Brightwing. And so Misha the only casualty. But this Immortal still fairly healthy for the second half. But Peanut Butter down under 300 health, gonna walk away. Tychus going in with that overkill, trying to pressure out DeepFriedMingBalls, but still dropping in all of those sandblasts, just wearing down this Angel. And that's gonna be a full shield Immortal.
Full shield Immortal.
Marching down the bottom lane.
And the top fort did fall. The bottom fort still stays standing. That's a lot of experience to be soaked up there. But this is going to be a very, very big push and a very healthy Immortal in the mid game coming out for the side of DeepFriedMingBalls. They need to find some sort of play around the garage. Breaking down one of these walls would definitely be what they're looking for to do first. Looking like the team just kind of setting up, maybe setting up for the siege, sieging down some of these towers. And they're looking to find any sort of pick that they can. Chromie gonna put the damage. There it is, the Malthael thrown in. Everybody jumping down. Hen getting all the way in. And that is going to be the Malthael falling. 1 kill down. The Immortal still sitting fairly healthy. The drill there. 3-man stun coming down from the Immortal. Nobody saw it. And the Immortal gonna get the assist onto Misha there. This Immortal still has his shield. And this Malthael is not gonna be able to defend this. This could be a very big push onto the keep coming out of the DeepFriedMingBalls.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this idea with the Tychus mouthfeel is strong. You've got the bigger they are, and then the reduction in cooldown on minigun, but Genghis Khan jumping out and then running or getting thrown out, jumping back in to stay a while, listen, coming in huge, saving the Muradin, and the discipline to not wake anybody up to let Muradin get out alive. Absolutely huge. We still lose Misha in the process. And this bush is not getting stopped and I guess now soon.
Hen actually looking like he's trying to find the Tychus there. But the Immortal, a big stun coming out from Misha on 3 members. That's going to end this siege. They're trying to kill the bear. This poor bear just keeps getting slaughtered. And now Murda gets thrown back there, gets polymorph taunted. Last Rites goes down. Garrosh does fall. And the rest of the team going to sound the retreat here. Mephisto getting a ton of damage, but that was a huge, huge pickup for the DeepFriedMingBalls. They've got the entire bottom lane open. And this is going to be a pretty big advantage now. They've negated all of the experience that was in the favor of 9 Avatara. And more importantly, they've got the map pressure. So as long as they back up, still in a little bit of a rough spot. It's going to have to throw down the sands to get away. Gets the stun. The Dirge of Hatred actually misses here. And Brightwing does not get, she gets interrupted. Big play from the Tychus there. Huge, huge interrupt from the Tychus onto the Brightwing, so she did not get the channel completed. And that is going to be a pickup for the side of the 9 Avatara. Gotta hand it over to Universe, making sure that the team is not, is still in it and trying to get some sort of pressure here in the bot lane.
Yeah, I want to catch up on a couple of things real quick. The Warbringer and the Juggernaut on Varian not going with the heal block, especially with the big potions that are picked up on Deckard. An interesting choice, but getting the percentage damage and the frequent charges can bring in a good chunk of extra damage. Also, what I was trying to say is, so having Tychus with the minigun and the resets on the cooldown, and then Malthael with the last rites, they can pick a target and take them down, except they can't get in there. The charge and slows from Varian, along with the throw from Garrosh, anybody that goes in is going to get isolated and melted down. So they can't use this fantastic combo that they have.
Malthael is not here.
into this Bruiser camp. That's going to be an invaded camp and stolen by DeepFriedMingBalls. And Deckard Cain does end up going down after a long battle, and Muradin going to follow. Varian charging over to Malthael. Malthael trying to get away, gonna get polyed, and there is the sands, and Hooli throwing him out of the sands to steal the kill, dubbing all over Silver Arrow with that one.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a 3 for nothing with the camp steal.
Yeah, that's big. I was curious if they got those big kills really quick, if they were gonna try and push for this top keep or potentially core. You know, it was a little bit staggered. The minions in the bot lane are building up, but they elect to go for the Immortal. Again, going for that safer play. Gonna get a fully shielded Immortal in this top lane. Bot lane is being answered by Rexar right now. Everybody's topping off, and this is a big, big play coming out of DeepFriedMingBalls here.
Another full shield Immortal about to come through, and it's going to go into that top lane. Now, it's only level 16. They're only 13 minutes into the game, but this keep isn't necessarily a whole lot to stop this Immortal, so I'm interested if this will go core.
I mean, I'm curious. The DeepFriedMingBalls, they see all the members. They see 3 members bot. I'm curious if they go get as much structure damage as they can. They're kind of just sitting right now. I anticipate they go up and try and siege on this fort, knowing that the members weren't here, but they elect to wait. Deckard is getting his potion set up, so the defense pressure, there they go. Now they're going to go get the structure pressure. Chromie getting her time traps down as well, and we'll see. It's going to be the Garrosh versus Muradin stalemate. Who is the first to pull that trigger, and who is able to be the one to, you know, either defend their team or send their team to victory here. The Dirts of Hatred landing on the Baron. Misha just going to get absolutely obliterated. Rexar, oh, sorry, that was Malthael gets thrown in. Polymorph immediately fonts a taunt going down from the Warlord's challenge, but Hooli very low, only landing the Deckard Cain sleep onto Varian. And look at this Immortal, all the way shielded up, still half shield. They just got to delay. This Immortal's going to be able to tear apart this core. In comes the Immortal. Malthael getting thrown up, thrown back into the team there, and Polymorph goes down, but unfortunately, nobody's able. Silver Arrow barely escapes, but Garrosh, big brother Garrosh, able to get the throw. Silver Arrow taking a couple core shots as well. The stun landing onto Hooli. The core is starting to fall, but not there. The Dirts of Hatred landing. That's Misha and Muradin going down. Everybody on the side of 9 Avatara is trying to make the defense. The core at 66% and falling. The Immortal still getting focused down. Can they kill it? 32-24. The core is being shredded here, and this is going to be it. Game 4 going over to the DeepFriedMingBalls. And that
is the set.
Is the set. That is your Division E champions, the DeepFriedMingBalls, taking this in 4 games, gonna win Division E for Season 11 in NGS. Let me see if I can get our victors in here for an interview. And Taco, you could just, while I wait to get everything set up, you can just take that one away.
So the Divi West Grand Champions of DeepFriedMingBalls coming in. So take game 1, drop game number 2, come back, finish strong with 3 and 4. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't see a Probius tonight. Not gonna lie, I was really hoping for a Probius. I'm also I'm in mourning for my fellow Div E Easters, but if West was gonna win, I couldn't hope for a team other than DeepFriedMingBalls, or maybe maybe another team that is in the chat that we hang out a lot with. But the set itself, very aggressive, except for that game number 3, and even this 4th game had a low kill count, but the play style was super aggressive. Varian going in, Garrosh going in, Muradin jumping in, Misha saying I'm a bear, and just giving all these opportunities for engages. It's some really good sleeps out of Deckard. I think we're building in pretty. We're creating opportunities, but there was a lot to fight through, and DeepFriedMingBalls was just able to execute just a little bit better, and it rolled into those huge objectives.
Absolutely. All right, Taco, let's head into lobby number 2, and we will meet up with Cap Mahen, our captain from the DeepFriedMingBalls. Hello.
Hey.
So first, I mean, I'm waiting for. Okay, Taco is here. First things first. Congratulations on Season 11 champions of Division E, DeepFriedMingBalls. How is the team feeling right now?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I think it was Silver let out a mighty scream of victory in the last few seconds of that. It feels really good. Yeah, we're all stoked.
Awesome, awesome. Glad to hear it. Tago, I'm going to ask a few questions and then I'll turn it over for you for any further questions. But I mean, first thing first, we come in to the series. You guys get the first pick and they send us over. I mean, we could analyze this map all day long, but they send us to, gosh, it felt like so long ago. Where did we go? Towers of Doom.
Hours of
Towers of
Combat.
Doom, and you guys pull out this massive bruiser Deathwing kind of combination. I mean, that looked practiced. It didn't look like that was something you guys just pulled out of the back pocket. It looked like you had executed that quickly. So take us through that game one.
Yeah, that is you're right. It is a well practiced, well oiled machine. My Evan Deathwing. I know we've got a few people in chat who were disappointed they didn't see it earlier in the last two games we played, but we brought it out tonight. It's just awful. It's so hideous. But it is a lot of fun. So yeah, a well practiced machine, that one.
Yeah, that looked great. I mean, game one came out. You guys looked so solid in game one. Looked like it could potentially be, a very very dominant performance. But then game two happens. They take first pick. We go to Braxis, and for as dominant as game one was for Deep Fried Ming Balls, the nine Avatara just went blow for blow and came back strong on Braxis holdout. So talk us about what went through there in game number two.
Yeah, it's a similar story to the finals of Flintropics last week as well, where we had just a blowout game one and then just got absolutely return served in game two. Um, Braxis, we have scrimmed against Nine Avatar on that map before with a pretty similar comp to what we ran tonight. And honestly, I think they saw it coming and just played around us. The that Lunara and the Falstad were just too agile, couldn't get close. Me as Thrall just getting absolutely ruined in team fights. And I know, Kirk on Gazlo had a hell of a time up top as well with the Falstad being able to rotate so quickly. So it was a rough game, and yeah, we got our asses kicked really thoroughly.
Yeah, I mean, Nine Avatar, they looked like they just like they I mean, you said you scrimmed against them before, looked like they had some sort of answer for everything you guys did. I mean, the Malthael was putting on a ton of pressure in the top lane, and they just played it so patiently and eventually just scaled enough into that late game that Lunara and Falstad became very terrifying to deal with. And it seemed to just kind of, you know, essentially just become how Braxis is expected, a steamroll for one team. Um,
Mm.
so then we get through Braxis. We go into game number three. They get to pick the map. You guys go back to first pick, and so far in the series, the team that picked the map lost the map. Essentially, they send us over to Infernal Shrines. What were you guys thinking going into that map? How did you guys reset from that game number two?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because Infernal Shrines. I think it's the most played map in on the Divi East Coast team, and I think we've played it maybe once in NGS on the West Coast for Deep Fried Ming Balls. So we were a little bit apprehensive, especially coming off the back of the the absolute smashing we got in game two. We know this is a map they do quite well. We were a little bit apprehensive. Um, but I really liked our comp in that game. Kirk, who is traditionally our off lane bruiser, just coming out to shine on the Asmo. Um, I think it worked quite well in the end, but I think we went into that feeling really quite threatened. We thought we were going to go to game five at the start of that one.
Yeah, it looked like it could potentially. I mean, they got a really really good draft. You guys come out with this different like Asmo variant, kind of hadn't seen this for how bloodbathy game one and two were. Game three was kind of the exact opposite. Very very methodical coming out of both teams. Very slow paced. I mean, I think towards the end of the games, the kills was like 7-2 or 7-3 or something like that. Very very low kill count. But you guys were able to pull it away. Was there ever a time in that bot pressure with the immortal, where you guys are thinking maybe we can core this, or no, we're gonna back off and try to play the map a little more with the having the the demonic invasion available?
We probably thought about it for about 3 seconds, to be honest, but we had three players that were super low. They still had, I can't remember if it was two or three up at the time. It just felt like a very risky play. We had top pushing. It felt like if we'd gone really hard and we'd messed it up, then game three would have been over for us. So, and as you say, 7-2 kills. We were playing a very conservative game. So, yeah, I think it was the right call to back off there, and I don't no regrets at all about playing a safer game in game three.
Sure. And then going into game 4, Little Jitters alive, they take first map. So you send us to, as you let me know well in advance, and everybody saw in chat, Battlefield of Eternity, one of my favorite maps. You guys come out with this composition, have an answer for the mouthfeel of this game. Just how did you feel you guys played on that Battlefield of Eternity? And again, was there any doubt in your mind when Silver got Mephisto that this was not going to be the game-ending match?
Look, I think in full fairness to Nine Avatara, there was never a map we rolled into tonight. We were like, yeah, we've got this. We took it. We took it seriously, and we know they're a really good team. They were third seed, and then just smashed their way through the
Absolutely.
finals to get where they are. So caution was still front of mind. They banned Zul'jin, which of course would have been a nice pick for the race, but. Yeah, I don't know. It was a very boring game to watch. If you're watching Very and Mouthy are just kind of sitting there teasing each other in lane for most of the game. But I think our 4-man comp for team fight just really worked for us, and we were able to get a few really choice picks. I know we got the Tychus right before the second objective clicked off. Right before third objective, we got that other pick as well. So we were just sort of timing our kills and staggering our kills really nicely on that fourth game. And yeah, by the time we were sitting on that third immortal, we were pretty confident.
Awesome. All right, Taco, I'm going to turn it over to you. Any questions you have before I wrap this up with my last two questions I always ask?
Yeah, well, the first one is, where the hell's Silver, man?
We can jump on. Silver, if you want to come on, you can jump in. I know you can't go a day without hearing his voice, can you, man?
My lord, I just what big main question? What caught you by surprise?
Pretty much all of game two caught us very much by surprise. As I said, we ran a similar comp in a scrim with them and absolutely dominated. So we were feeling very confident with Thrall, with Chromie, and everything, and just everything that could go wrong in that match absolutely went wrong for us. There were a few little I shouldn't be surprised by this because we've been playing HOTS for ages, but bloody bird lasers and invincible dwarves were the bane of our existence in this game. That Muradin just did not die, and I really, really wanted him to. But yeah, I think overall, by the time we got to game 3 and 4, it was pretty textbook.
Did when you're coming into this, like, how far ahead were you planning? Was it, all right, we're just gonna go game 1, we're gonna see how it goes, and then adapt, or did you kind of have, like, because both of your teams play all of your players every set whenever you can. So did you, all right, game 1 we're gonna go with this kind of comp, game 2, or at least the next map we pick, we're gonna go this kind of comp with these people? Like, what was your plan going into it all?
As in the setup for the whole night, or
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we always like to, we got to, I mean, we were very, very excited to get Maiev and Deathwing out in game 1. I should also point out that was the first, it wasn't cast. Our very first match we played was against Mosley and the Arkanauts. It was on Towers of Doom, and we were like, we've got a good thing here with Maiev and Deathwing. We're going to just smash this. And we got absolutely slaughtered. They were ice walling Deathwing. They were screwing up all our initiations. This felt like redemption. The last match of the season to bring that comp back and go hard with it on the same map that we lost on our first match was kind of a nice way to end. But we always have a comp usually out of 2 or 3 characters, whether it's Anna and Chromie or whether it's Valia and Ming or whatever it's going to be. There's always a plan going into every map.
All right, 2 more quick ones. And I'll ask them just real quick back to back. 1, describe your favorite taco, and 2, now that you are the Divi Grand Champions, I think the only cocktail left to make is the deep fried Ming Ball itself. So what is that gonna look like?
Oh, do you know? I chose the cocktail today because it was. I'll answer your second question first, but because it was, I thought relatively simple to make. You only need a few
And I
ingredients,
don't have the ingredients.
and you don't have them. But I was
I'm
like
on my
basil,
second.
lemon juice. I haven't had my first yet.
Uh-oh.
I was
Go get
I
it.
was having a clean and sober match. But I really want to muck around with some dry ice, and make something kind of smoky and mystic and cool. But then everyone's going to be like, "Well, I don't have dry ice," and to be honest, neither do I. So let me think on that one. But there'll be another cocktail. What was your first? What was your first question?
Just your favorite taco.
My favorite taco. Aren't you my favorite taco, man?
Aw.
I know. No, I'll tell you what though. I was in Mexico a little while ago, and I had a like seared tuna taco, and it was just game-changingly amazing. So yeah, I was never a fish taco man. Now I am.
Awesome.
I will, I'll take my crown. Thank you. And the fish taco can be second.
Yeah. Well, I said you first, so
Yes,
that's
of
more than
course.
fair.
All right.
And I appreciate it.
So before we leave, Captain Hen, first things first, I'm going to ask this question, and you always have a tough time with it. Who do you think was the series MVP for your final showdown tonight?
I'm glad you asked, because I was gonna have to finish up if you didn't.
On our team, I think I've got to give it to Sil. Poor Sil's been practicing with tanks all week because we have our main tank / healer Elixir isn't here. So she's been practicing with tanks all week, and then we didn't let her play a tank at all tonight. So
That's the way it works sometimes.
I know, right? Those last minute changes. So best laid plans, but she put in all this effort and energy, and then got stuck healing. And on the last map, Chromie as well, of course, which I think she played magnificently on. But honestly, she didn't play every match tonight, but so and so that Deathwing at the start, I think just bringing the fire and bringing the pain. I have said before, I think if you want someone to play a dragon, you go to so and so. She's an amazing Brightwing and an even better Deathwing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, absolute hats off to So.
All right. And last things last, I'm going to open it up to you, Hen. Shout outs galore. Anything you'd like to say? A lot of fans in Twitch chat. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Always thanks to the opposing team and the Nine Avatara. You guys are the guys we've scrimmed with the most. We play Storm League together with them sometimes. They're a lot of fun. The trash talking in the Divi channel is the best in the game, and I think they're a really fun team to play. Obviously, thanks to you guys for casting tonight. What a team! My 2 favorite casters side by side on our ultimate victory battle. Amazing stuff. And then, of course, just to the NGS community, to the admins who've helped us put this together, to the people who have to answer all the stupid questions from me and the other captains. I think it's been a really good series, and I think we're doing this all again in a couple of days for the Champion of Champions as well. So knowing Avatara can have a day off, and then we'll see him again on Saturday.
Yep, go right back, back at it.
Oh man,
get another showdown. It's gonna be excellent. All right,
I'm gonna be out of town, but I might be able to watch it at least.
You got a mobile phone, right?
There you go. I could watch. Yeah.
Alrighty, Capman. Thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations again to the DeepFriedMingBalls Season 11 champions. Look forward to watching you guys in that Champion of Champions, seeing how far you guys can make a run. Maybe it'll end with the 9 Avatar in the matchup. Who knows? We will see. But congratulations again. Looking forward to things to come, and best of luck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you then.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Taco, I mean, fantastic way to end the series. Nine Avatara, they absolutely played brilliantly this match. It was a tough fight for sure. Those second, third, and fourth games were very close, but I got to run in like 10 minutes, so I'm going to open it up to you. Just talk people through, give them any shout outs you'd like to make, and then where people can find you, and looking forward to things to come in this off season that we now have coming up.
Yeah, man. Well, one, thanks for letting me cast this with you. Really like both of these teams, so I was glad to be able to be involved. Quick shout out to my wife, as always, for either keeping me drinking or fed for all of my casting needs, and to Aura and the NGS staff that put on such a great event all the time. Off-season stuff to look forward to. Nexomania by CCS is huge. My team's participating. XGDI and Region are doing some scrim stuff. I think signups are closed, but there you'll be able to watch stuff. Region is doing a charity ARAM tournament on June 5th, raising money for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Go to the Region Discord to get more information on that and sign up. Again, Breast Cancer Research Foundation. It's a charity ARAM tournament. It's gonna be super fun. And you can find me at twitch.tv/eltaquito or at the Lil Taco. TheLilTaco on the Twitters, and I'm usually tweeting about me casting and things like this, except I didn't today. Again, Ice, thanks so much for the opportunity, man.
Absolutely. As for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm IceX. This is the last cast of Season 11. This is it. Season 11 has now been wrapped up. A nice little bow put on top of it. Congratulations to all of our champions who have come out and all of our finalists, really. I mean, excellent season. Season 11 was a blast. I'm so glad I got to do Division E finals in Season 10. Glad to be back here in Season 11, and I am so looking forward to Season 12. You can go ahead and catch me over at twitch.tv/IceX02. I know there's a 02 because somebody stole my name. Don't know why.
Oh.
But you can catch me there. Yeah, you can catch me over there. And, head on over, drop a follow. If you enjoyed what you had tonight, go over, drop a follow on my channel, drop a follow on Taco's channel. We both do a lot of streaming. We'll both be back here when Season 12 starts again in August. But for me tonight, I believe that is it. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, that's it. Congratulations to both of our teams. This has been an excellent Season 11, and I look forward to catching you all back here when we start off Season 12. Have a fantastic night, everyone. For me and Taco, have a great evening, and we will catch you all next time. See you around.
I'm waving goodbye at the camera, I promise.